Wendy Bell Radio is live.
I have some really weird hair today, you guys. It's all over the place. Don't you like how I start talking to you when I go like this?
Wait, how's it any different than any other
No,
day?
it's just like,
Seriously.
it's really big today. Like, I was like, whoa, holy moly. It's like totally out of like Lion King. Anyway, and just thought I would put it out there. I have no idea why. It's just the way it goes. Hi, everybody. You know what today is?
Newsmax.
It is a Newsmax day. One of, I think, my last. I think I only have 2 to go. We'll see. Let's see what goes on. Life changes. We move on, don't we? It's great to be with you guys. How's everybody? How you doing? Can we first of all tell you that you bought a bazillion of those flags at disinfectwithsniper.com, the 250th anniversary?
I got to figure out how I'm going to hang.
That is just so cool. $60 each, right? I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not off the charts. And, you know, as it would be, one of our P1s, Leah, sent me back one of our, if you know, you knows, 2A commemorative gifts. And I just wanted to be able to show you guys what we're doing. So we've got 3 AR-15 mags. We put them on the website, Wendy Bell.
We're going to have 3.
WendyBellRadio.com. We have 2 of them. One is sold out. The second one is still available. This is how it looks. So you put it in. That's how it looks. So the logo. And then on the other side is North is still North. You could be in the middle of a hurricane or you can be on a calm day. North is still North. You could be in a thunderstorm. North is still North. People can yell at you. North is still North. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself. Justice Clarence Thomas, perhaps my favorite person ever. I love him. So this is how it comes. This is what it looks like. It just shows 2A commemorative gift because we're not really allowed to blab about it. There are rules and laws and all that jazz, and we don't want to fiddle with it. But there are some left, but they're going to be sold out, and then we're going to roll out the third kind. So if you want to get in on it before they're sold out, go to Wendy Bell Radio at WendyBellRadio.com. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, Brock wanted to give that to Carl Higbee, his boyfriend.
I think Carl, who actually has a 2A segment on his show every week.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And we never decided, and I'll let you guys chime in, for the few mugs that we're going to make with my cartoon on it. I just thought I'd put North is still North on the back. Mm-hmm. Or should I put something else?
Why don't you guys think about that? So right now it's going to be this, but smaller, right?
Yeah.
This is the picture. This will be his picture, his version of it from Gary Varvel, stud galore. Hey, quick, before we get going, I want to tell you guys about something. Look, one of the things I love about partnering with the wellness company is they see what's coming down the road and they think beyond the big pharma box. And they've created something called the Ultimate Spike. It's like a spike protein detox, which I think is beyond necessary right now. You're wondering about the mRNA, what it's done to you, what's in your body. Yep. Well, the tricky thing and the trickery, we should say, about man-made spike proteins, they can slowly and secretly create long-lasting side effects. In a new paper reviewed in a study, peer-reviewed study, researchers tested the blood of 34 women and men, all who received the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. Every single one of them tested positive for micro blood clots circulating in their system. These are stubborn, hard to break down clots that have been linked to lingering symptoms in both the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. So the obvious question is, how do you detox? Well, they have it. It's called the Ultimate Spike Detox from the Wellness Company. It's got nattokinase. It's a natural enzyme that's been shown to dissolve up to 84% more 84% of the micro blood clots within 2 hours in vitro. So even at lower amounts, it still reduced the number of clots, the intensity of the clot signal, and the overall clot size. Look, this is important stuff. This is you, your life, your blood, your health, your forever, right? TWC.health. Use my name, 10% off right now. Wellness company Spike Detox, ultimate spike detox designed to support the body's natural ability to break down spike proteins and support healthy circulation. You know, I can't think that it doesn't go in context with this, but we'll talk about Blood Flow 7 next. Honest to goodness, if there's nothing else you buy today. Holy moly. Mary Beth can tell.
Not putting,
by the way.
I wasn't invited on the mug.
Why not? That's freaking hilarious. It's exactly you. That or some really lousy, grammar.
But see, I do love the North is still North.
Why don't you just say me and him weren't invited? Then we're talking.
I live by North is still North.
I'm so cute. I know. It's so great. Okay, I'm not saying a damn thing about Rumbles today. Somebody hurt my feelings yesterday, and they said all I was doing was constantly shilling for it. And they're right.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still North. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still North. People can yell at me.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still North. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America, and greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Things are heating up in Minnesota as we speak. Another ICE-involved shooting, certainly portrayed by the media and by the agitators, the kamikaze Karens and all of their loser friends, chucking rocks at ICE agents, firing firecrackers and smoke things at them, those canisters, right? It is not going to end well. And so now I think common sense Americans are saying, Mr. President, just do it already. Invoke the Insurrection Act. So we're going to get into all of it today because Tim Walz put out a video, you guys, yesterday that's just ridiculous. And we got to talk about it. Nick Shirley dropped a new video. We got to talk about that. You got the whole world at your fingertips because you found WendyBellRadio.com. Thank you for being a part of the Wendy Bell Radio program. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. So there's a gal in my neighborhood who is an extreme leftist. She is an attorney. She is a smart woman. She is an angry, white, college-educated, toxic liberal broad. She is the scourge, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I have great sympathy for her. And I'm going to tiptoe around this because I cannot fathom what she has gone through. Her daughter overdosed and died in their house. This was several years ago. And it was awful. And it was the fentanyl tainted drugs that we're all worried about right now. This mom now, after burying her daughter, after seeing what drugs did to the beautiful, capable, exuberant, joyful soul that her daughter was, this mom now is an agitator on the left who's ready to rumble here in Pittsburgh. She's ready to go out. She's ready to fight, put everything on the line to protest ICE, ladies and gentlemen, because that makes sense. The federal agents who are trying to clean up the drugs and the gangbangers and the wife beaters and the rapists and all the traffickers and the murderers and all of the scourge too out there, this mom is fighting against the agents who were trying to get rid of the drug dealers who killed her daughter. And she's not connecting the dots, okay? So I want to put this out there for you. We are dealing with people who are not rational people. And I'm not sitting here saying, you know what, we should make fun of these folks for protesting. We should ridicule them we should ridicule them. They're making Minneapolis unsafe. Did you see the video? Nick Sorter put it out last night, ladies and gentlemen, as the madness of the liberal protesting is festering in my Pittsburgh community. It is full on alert in Minneapolis, where Nick Sorter, citizen journalist, caught video of these protesters breaking into the back of a federal agent's vehicle. I don't know if this is an ICE guy, if it's his truck, it's his car. They knock off the lock on what looks like a firearm locker of some sort. They take out his rifle, all of the ammo, and perhaps even more sinisterly, they find inside that vehicle, allegedly, a packet of information listing all of the agents, listing where the agents are staying, their phone numbers, their email addresses. Protocol for ICE on how to deal with violence in these protesters. This is where we are. That is a complete collapse of local state laws and the police to enforce them. If there was no other reason to invoke the Insurrection Act, that was it, captured by Nick Sorter, who, by the way, has the ear of the President of the United States. You don't think Donald Trump has seen this video? Of course he has, because not long after that, the president put out this truth. If the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, one could say, why wouldn't he just do it? I think we need things to get a little bit more out of control, probably is what the president is thinking. He doesn't want people to lose their lives. He didn't want Renee Good shot and killed. He didn't want Jonathan Ross hit by her vehicle because she gunned it. But apparently, not enough Americans are waking up to see what is at stake here. But there's silently something very peculiar going on behind the scenes as well. While front and center, we're seeing these clashes, mainly in Minneapolis, but spreading to a blue sanctuary city near you. There's something very curious going on. There is a quiet return to law and order and rule of law. And I'm going to read you a headline from the Post-Millennial that has to do with my state and my governor. U.S. Attorney's Office looking into case of Philly woman stabbed 20 times and ruled as suicide under then Attorney General Josh Shapiro. This is one of those cases that people in my Commonwealth know all too well. And those of us who watched Josh Shapiro ascend from Attorney General of Suck to the governor of Suck find this very intriguing. It's almost like they can't put this story, which stinks to high heaven, to bed. The federal government is now taking a fresh look into the 2011 death of Ellen Greenberg, a Philadelphia teacher, woman who died after 20 stab wounds. 10 of those wounds were in the back of her neck and the base of her head, but her death was ruled suicide. Weird, isn't it? According to sources that spoke to NBC 10, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania is interested in looking into the case. Oh, it's more than that. They've requested all the documents related to her death. They've gotten them. They got them last month, the outlet reported. Oh, boy. The 27-year-old Greenberg at the time of her death had 20 stab wounds to her front as well as the back. The medical examiner had initially ruled that it was a homicide, but later ruled it a suicide. And her death has remained that way on record ever since. Greenberg's parents, however, have fought to reopen the case and have argued that she was murdered. Pretty sure my daughter didn't stab herself in the back. And by the way, one of the wounds she received was post-mortem. I don't know a lot of dead people who can pull that off. Greenberg was found dead by her fiancé, Sam Goldberg. In the apartment they shared, a 10-inch blade was found sticking out of her chest. Suicide? Any of it? Really? Her parents have long accused the local government and justice system of covering up botched homicide investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, in every single sentence, something outrageous jumps out at you. Something that makes you say, there is no way anybody with half of a reasonable mind would have said that was a suicide. Well, I was curious because in January of last year, the original medical examiner in the case signed a sworn statement that Greensburg's death should be ruled something other than a suicide. The ex-fiancé has maintained that it was her mental illness that caused her to stab herself repeatedly to death. However, a doctor treating her before her death said nope, she wasn't suicidal, and wrote in a report that she had bruises that suggest domestic abuse, sufficient to account for her anxiety. Really? Additionally, one of the stab wounds was reportedly made after she would have already died. So what is it? Why is it that when the parents of a murdered woman, when all of the details in the case would make a reasonable, rational person say, I'm going to go with things that are not a suicide for 1,000, Alex. For some reason, then Attorney General, who has now failed upwards to become the governor of Pennsylvania, who fancies himself presidential material and was kind of butthurt that he wasn't selected as Kamala's number 2. Funny how all of this is coming out now. If we have to pick apart the criminals or the people who behaved poorly, those who have accepted bribes or have looked the other way, all of whom, regardless of where they fall on the spectrum of suck, could reasonably be considered criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on in this country, and it's not even been one full glorious year. Mr. President, the Insurrection Act, please. Let's clean up this mess before another person dies who doesn't need to. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Bill Malhusian talking about Republicans pushing a bill that would retroactively denaturalize people from other countries who've committed crimes here in our country. Yeah, about that. We don't want you anymore. Bye-bye. I voted for that. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So if you're going to detox, if you're going to get the spike stuff out of your blood, if you're going to get this from the wellness company, the Ultimate Spike Detox, it makes reasonable sense that another thing you should be careful with is your blood flow. I had no idea how much your blood flow impacts everything from your focus to your stamina, to your ability to heal, your cardiovascular system, how far you can push yourself without collapsing from. This makes every difference in the world. Bloodflow7.com. For the 64-year-old badass woman who kills me twice a day or twice a week at the gym, for her to be like, you're now doing 90 pounds on the leg extension. What are you doing? Because you're now doing, assisted pull-ups with my legs, but you're now doing front and back pull-ups. What are you doing? I'm doing bloodflow7.com from Juvenon. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Alpha Gold Male for the guys. Alpha Gold Male for the guys. Don't muck around. You want to get it. You want to take it. You want to take it at the same time every day. You want to wake up. I take it on an empty stomach. It doesn't make you feel bad. You take it. You give it a couple hours. Oh, my heavens. You do it consistently. Sleep like a boulder. Like a boulder. bloodflow7.com/Wendy. How you doing? Brock, what's going on, babe?
Nothing.
How's your back feeling? You doing all right? You go back today.
Yeah.
You go back
We're in our
today.
treatment.
You feeling like it's helping?
Yes.
Good. Is it one of those things where you have to kind of aggravate it to heal it? A little bit?
I don't know. They do. Why does he keep doing that? They do red light therapy, and then they stretch me. Then they do this TENS unit thing, which
I know that's the fuzzy thing. That's where it activates the things in your body.
it feels like almost needles.
But it doesn't hurt. It like
No.
stimulates. Yeah.
It gets things moving. And I mean, I've only had 2 treatments, and the difference is, I mean, you saw me when I started. It hurt to move.
This is for you from Gail. Vermont Maple Crunch.
Was it coffee?
It is coffee. Look at that. It is amazing. It's best by next Christmas, so you've got some time to drink it.
That'll take me after
I
today.
don't know how many pounds this is. This is 5 pounds.
This new schedule,
5
I
pounds.
drank an entire pot of coffee this
Well, you're
morning.
going to get 5 pounds. He encourages you to keep it in the freezer.
Okay.
Gail, thank you, babe.
Yes, thank you, Gail.
That was 5 pounds.
That she had to carry.
That's like
in.
spanking. That's a good
Wow.
spank right there, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Gail, thank you. I love you. I've gone over how many disappointing votes our Republican representatives fail us by either making or failing to make. We howled when they passed all of the ridiculous $3.5 trillion here, $1.9 trillion there. Like anybody during COVID who thought shutting the economy down and then printing money was going to be a great solution is an idiot, and on face value should be kicked out of Congress on sight. I think that's a logical statement to make, right? Well, we've watched all sorts of crazy votes. Is it literally going to come to bloodshed in the streets, civil war in the streets, complete anarchy, chaos, lunacy in the streets for enough Americans to wake up and start paying attention to who the people they voted for, how they are voting, and how they are letting us down? Multiple examples of that. Remember, we told you earlier in the week that the Senate had passed this thing with Republicans to limit the president's ability to use military action in Venezuela. Literally taking him, after taking out Maduro, and putting handcuffs on him behind his back and putting him in a straitjacket. Yeah, you're not allowed to make moves without us knowing about it first, said Republicans in the Senate, including Todd Young and Josh Hawley, who apparently got an earful because they last night changed their votes. And now that whole thing is reversed. We're going to talk about that coming up. But is it going to take this abject lunacy, murder in the streets, for enough Americans to wake up and pay attention to who their elected leaders are? I don't know, maybe. But Bill Malugin has this great breakdown of something that happened yesterday. So Republicans are pushing a bill. And what it would do is it would retroactively denaturalize people who came here from other countries, who've become American citizens since, but who rip us off and do us wrong and hurt us. So like you can come from, and this is exactly for the Somalians, right? This is exactly what it's for, but it's applicable to everybody. So say you came here under Barack Obama in 2009. It's when a lot of Somalians first came. Civil war in Somalia. Oh my gosh, we have to help them because that's what we're doing. We're just such good people here in America. Come on over. Culturally, completely opposite of us. Africa, coming to Minnesota. Okay, that makes no sense whatsoever, right? So then they become American citizens. So that's supposed to somehow make them untouchable. If this bill passes, right, you can become denaturalized. We're going to take away your citizenship because you're defrauding us and pack your bags, get the hell out. Here's Bill Maloogian.
Brand new legislation designed to do just that. So Republican Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn has introduced this new bill. It's called the Fraud Accountability Act. What it would do is change U.S. law to allow any naturalized Americans convicted of any type of felony fraud to have their U.S. citizenship stripped away and also be deported. Now, the bill has 6 other Senate GOP co-sponsors, including Senators Cotton, Cornyn, Haggerty, Budd, Graham, and Kramer. And Senator Blackburn explained to me why she put forward this bill.
Providing this avenue so that these individuals who would come here and defraud the taxpayer are going to be removed from the country and do it in a more efficient and expedited way.
Do you expect any Senate Democrats to support this?
I would be honored to have them support it, and I think they should support it. When you look at, I mean, why would anybody be pro-fraud?
But if the bill passes the Senate, it would then head over to the House, and that is where we caught up with several Democrats who, unsurprisingly, are not fans of the idea of stripping citizenship away from anyone.
I think it's unconstitutional and illegal. I wish we would just move past this stuff about trying to strip citizenship away from people.
I think so long as the Republican Party and the Trump administration is using ICE to attack American citizens and shoot mothers in the face, I'm not willing to have a conversation with them about any other bad faith attempts to terrorize U.S. citizens.
Who the hell knows? These guys wanted to denaturalize the new mayor of New York City, so I don't put any credibility in what they're saying about denaturalization.
And Senator Blackburn's bill would apply to any type of felony fraud conviction, whether it's against a private person, a corporation, or the government. The bill is also retroactive, covering any felony fraud convictions going all the way back to September of 1996. Bill?
All right, thanks, Bill. Watching it for us.
Now, September of 1996. That was kind of weird to us. We're like, wow, that's kind of a very specific date. It's like Joe Biden granting, a pardon for anything Hunter may or may not have done, dating all the way back to January 1st of 2014. It's like, oh, we almost know exactly when we started sucking, really. And it's about that time, right? Well, back in 1996, it's curious because the major legislation that passed was the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. Okay, it was a pretty big deal. It was enacted in September of 1996, and it basically boosted penalties for document fraud, and illegal re-entry into the United States. So if you were deported or bounced for whatever reason, and you came back in to the country, and let's say that then you went through some process perhaps and became an American citizen, but you've been defrauding the people, well, you get bounced too. So we're going to go all the way back 30 years. Very interesting timeline for us to pay attention to. It's almost as though you and I are being played a slideshow, because what's coming next is probably the most important part. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I want to talk about this new situation in Minneapolis. An ICE officer ambushed, cornered, beaten, pulls his gun. Who's at fault? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I think it's very interesting. This case involving this young woman, it was such an egregious, ridiculous judgment. She had dozens of stab wounds, many on the back of her body, and you're going to say she killed herself. Yeah. Do you know that many people who stab themselves 30, 40 times? Like, even the most criminally insane, I don't think do that. And yet they said it was a suicide. And then you've got this guy who was the medical examiner who comes out after the fact and says, about that, it wasn't a suicide. And I'm perfectly happy right now. I have no intention of killing myself.
Me neither.
right? Well, Josh Shapiro, did you get paid? Who paid you? Right? I mean, how else do you look at it? How else can you look at these things? Why would you judge something so ridiculously wrongly so that everybody who is even moderately paying attention would be like, what you talking about, Willis? Is that where we are? That's why I wanted to use that as a case. So obvious. Really? And then when she was dead, she went, ugh. It's so stupid that these people are protesting ICE agents when the people that they're protesting on behalf of would kill them. It's like trannies getting up there and getting out for Hamas. You realize that you are a very quick throw off of the next building for any of these people, and you're protesting for them. Got it. That's my white supremacy for the day. Got it. It has to be that stupid for people to wake up. Okay. All right. Well, we're getting to that stupid part. Real stupid. Let me tell you guys about bodybyAIM360.com. So this is one of the most extensive and easiest, most accurate genetic tests on the market right now. There's no blood. You give no blood. There's like no hassle. When it comes to like ease of use, this is it. Bang, 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 winner. You're going to get insights that no one else is offering you for under $500. The real magic actually happens when Dr. Dubiak or a member of his team sit down with you and go over the results. That is where you truly understand how to use your genetics to your advantage. For just $79, you're going to have a personalized consultation to turn your test into real health, a real health roadmap. So this is what you get. This is the DNA test. It's called AimPrint, bodybyAIM360.com. It is $499. Okay? And you're going to be like, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of insight into you, into your body. The results are powerful, but they can be a bit complex, right? It tests your metabolism, your inflammation, to mood and to energy. It identifies your genetic predisposition to all sorts of things down the road that haven't even happened to you. So that you're like, oh, wait a minute. I have a predisposition to diabetes. I have a predisposition to cancer, to obesity, to whatever. What can I do to stop that? Bang, 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 bang. That's it. BodybyAIM360.com. 412-227-9255. 412-227-9255. It's phenomenal. All right. Let's see how you guys are doing.
I sent you 2 texts.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you. Hi, 5,600 people, almost 5,700 people. Hi. Thank you for being here. Look at you over there on X. Always strong. You guys always blow me out. Like the numbers blow me out of the water at the end of the day. Oh, Georgine, you placed an order, by the way. Thank you. She bought 2 of our Second Amendment commemorative gifts. You're going to be on the end.
Use them in good health.
This is going to be, we're not going to have that many left. Let's see.
It's under 100.
Wow. That's interesting. The appeals court reversing the decision.
One step closer.
I'm telling you, it's almost like it's almost like it all has to be out there. Like we all have to go to a, Golden Corral or some kind of a buffet. Is that a buffet? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And you got to just see everything out there, right? You got to see all of the entrees and you got to see them all and all of their festering awfulness, crawling with bugs and mold and everything. And then you get to see, oh, this is what they're serving us. But you get to see all the narratives crumble too. I think that's what we're seeing right now, which is very interesting. Jacob Fry looks, every time I see him, he looks like he's going to cry.
He's a big willow.
Does a willow know he's a willow? Like, does this scrawny little effeminate wiener schnitzel, does he know? Does he look in the mirror and he's like, how you doing? You're the greatest willow of them all.
I think he believes his BS.
Yeah. Hakeem Jeffries is not pleased with Tony DeCopel.
Oh, look out.
I know.
Timu Obama's upset.
I know. I was like, ooh, why are you all upset?
He's upset about everything.
He's upset well. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, the title of today's program, and Brock came up with it in the early morning hours because I think he needed like a tranquilizer or something. He needed something to calm. It wasn't even 5 a.m. and he was already all fussy. And I was like, what the heck? And we came up with the title, No More Effs to Give. Like, if somebody called you a racist, would you give an F? No. If somebody called you Islamophobic or any kind of name that we've all heard that's been browbeaten into the oblivion, would you give a flying? No. Literally, we've gotten to that point where every single thing that the left wants to hurl at you to stop you in your tracks, to gum up the works and make you think twice about speaking up and saying what you want to say. Like, we don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Bring it. Bring it. Because if saying that I'm racist, if that's your greatest weapon, if that's the magic bullet you've got left in your revolver, I'm sorry to tell you, you lose. Okay? You lose. So this madness in Minneapolis is behind why I say this. Apparently, there was another issue. An ICE agent's trying to pull over this guy, probably Trende Ragua. He's a Venezuelan. He's a criminal illegal alien. This is what ICE is doing. Remember, 70% of the people that ICE is picking up, 70% of the people that they're picking up have criminal records, okay? 30% get caught up in it. They get questioned. They get released. It is what it is. Let's get this. Breitbart. Venezuelan illegal alien attacks federal agent with a shovel in Minneapolis and gets shot. Yeah. You know what? He's lucky he wasn't killed. He was wounded. You don't hit people with shovels, okay? In civilized society, is not what we do, and you sure as hell don't do it if it's somebody who's enforcing the law. Well, let's get the details. Department of Homeland Security said a federal agent last night shot a Venezuelan national who's here in the United States illegally, as that Venezuelan national violently resisted arrest and attacked a law enforcement official with a shovel. According to DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, federal agents were arresting a male from Venezuela when the person fled and began to resist and violently assault the officer. Two people allegedly appeared from a nearby building and joined in on the attacking of the officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. So let me get this straight. You break our law to get here. You terrorize our people once you are here, or if you're a Somalian, you rip them off. And then when they come to enforce the law, when agents of this country that you've abused to come here, that you've now fleeced and endangered, you have the audacity to attack the agent. And you've got white kamikaze Karen moms out there fighting on your behalf. Got it. Got it. Everybody clear on where we are with this? We know who you are. We pull you over. We're trying to arrest you. You jump out. You run away. The officer comes to you, gets you, tackles you, starts fighting you, and two, Carlos and Luis come out of the nearby building to start throwing punches and attacking the ICE officer with a shovel and a broomstick. Got it. Let's listen to Bill Malugin with the details, breaking in last night on Sean Hannity's show.
DHS says at 6:50 p.m. Central Time tonight, quote, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist and violently assault the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, two subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the two individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by three individuals, the officer fired defensive shots to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All three subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. This is another attack. This attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, are actively encouraging an organized resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement officers. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end. So a very lengthy statement there, Sean, but it sounds a whole lot more complicated than what we initially had, that this was one person involved with a shovel. It sounds like ICE was going after a Venezuelan illegal alien who had been caught and released at the border by the Biden administration in 2022. That person crashed into a parked car, got out and fled. ICE was chasing him down, and then while they were wrestling on the ground, two people came out of a nearby apartment and then started attacking the ICE officer with shovels. And during that ambush attack, that is when the officer pulled out his weapon, fired, and hit one of the suspects, who again is stable. So it sounds like the suspects are in custody, and this is being described to Fox News from DHS as yet another attack on ICE officers in Minneapolis.
Take those three people, deport them. Deport the people with them, deport them all. I don't care. No more F's to give. No more. You've tapped into the F well too many times. No more to give. The bucket's coming up dry. Look, speech in America is protected. You're allowed to be as vile and despicable. You can be as crude and as big of a lying sack of garbage that you want to be. You are protected. Conduct, though, is regulated. You're not allowed to do the things that are being done. And they'll tell you this is a fight for democracy. No, this shows you the brainwashed minions who are the new clone troopers of the left. Black community is awakened. They're not going to be your army. They understand what's at stake. They see what's going on. But these white women, these moms, these nut jobs who would rather put their lives on the line to protest people who don't give a damn about them or their families. Absolute lunacy. Here's Anonymous telling us about the law. Peaceful protest is protected. Physical interference is illegal, and there is no contradiction in the law.
This law gives you the absolute legitimacy of peaceful protest. First Amendment, U.S. Constitution. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the right of the people peacefully to assemble. This law makes it illegal to physically interfere with federal officers performing their official duties. 18 U.S. Code Section 111A1. Whoever forcibly assaults, resists, opposes, impedes, intimidates, or interferes with a federal officer engaged in or on account of the performance of official duties shall be punished as provided in this section. Federal law also addresses those who encourage or coordinate that interference. 18 U.S. Code Section 2, aiding and abetting, makes it illegal to aid, encourage, or assist in the commission of a federal crime. 18 U.S. Code 373, solicitation to commit a crime of violence, makes it illegal to urge or encourage others to commit certain federal crimes. 18 U.S. Code Section 371, conspiracy, makes it illegal to agree with others to commit a federal offense, even if the plan fails. My friends, we are all anonymous, and there is no conflict here. One law protects speech. The others govern conduct, including those who encourage that conduct.
100%. See what's going on is something, you have the physical danger that's unnecessary because you have elected officials in a Democrat Party that has geeked out a group of progressives whose religion now is resisting. It's not about settling down and falling in love and starting a family. It's not about loving your children and protecting them the way mothers do. The new religion is fury. It is outrage. Even when presented with the facts that prove what you're outraged over, is propaganda. There's a psychological operation that is so insidious. And for some reason, it's been particularly effective with women. And I just don't get it. These people who have sacrificed personal, what we would all consider personal victories in our individual lives. These people have sacrificed all of that. And their new religion, their new clique, their new family is rage. It's batty. I'm going to tell you, just totally bat crap crazy. Trish McLaughlin at DHS says the officer feared for his life, fired shots, striking the person who agents were seeking in the leg. You know what? Can you imagine being that ICE agent and having 3 guys kicking you, punching you, swinging objects at you, and then having the presence of mind to pull your gun, fire a non-lethal shot, and hit the person you're aiming for? I'd shoot all of them. Well, that's just terrible. That sounds so discriminatory. Oh my gosh. No. You come at me with a shovel? Those people are so lucky they're still alive. And here is the ridiculous rub of it all. It is incumbent upon the agents always to be the ones exercising the right decisions, going to the exact limits, right? It's never incumbent upon the losers who are out there agitating. Instead of at home working with their children on their math homework and tucking them into bed, they're out there trying to be vigilante heroes. And yet all eyes, all scrutinizing is on the federal agents who are the ones under attack for doing the job to rid our communities of dangerous illegal aliens. Make it freaking make sense. It doesn't. President Trump also threw this out last night. He says a highly respected judge declined to block ICE operations in the very politically corrupt state of Minnesota. ICE will therefore be allowed to continue its highly successful operation of removing some of the most violent and vicious criminals anywhere in the world, many of them murderers from the state. The great patriots of law enforcement will continue to make our country safe. Record low crime numbers. I'll tell you what, if one single agent, God forbid, gets killed, and President Trump doesn't invoke the Insurrection Act, he's a fool. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, it's the sound of a woman who literally goes to be the next Renee Good, right? Blocking traffic, honk, honk, honk. I'm not moving my car. I'm not, blah, 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 blah. I have a right to be here, right? Except she's got an added gift in her car. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's truly.
They just put out the 3 guys from that were part of that shooting.
Yes.
Texted to you.
Oh, DHS releases the backgrounds. Thank you so much. Well, we'll read this together. I'm sure, Brock, that these are fine members of society.
Pillars of the community.
Look, they were just freeing. They were just fleeing.
Pillars of the community. These are the guys that sit on the PTA board and the Kiwanis and the Lions clubs. They really care about, what's going on in the community. They're always there to donate their time.
Oh, let's see who they really are.
Yeah.
We'll do that together when we come back, y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
Pillars. Pillars of the community.
All right, there we go. So you've been taking your bone strength, or you've been jagging me on that?
No, I took it home.
You took it home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is a really good time for us to talk about this, right? So the weather turns stinky. We're all inside. A lot of us, depending on your climate, you're inside. Kids are in school. They come back from break, and then everybody gets sick, right? This is a beautiful preemptive strike. You take out one of these from Healthy Cell, Immune Super Boost. This is a month supply. Suck it in. I took one of my supplements this morning and I don't have it in a microgel form from Healthy Cell. And I felt like it was stuck here for like 45 minutes. You know that feeling? And no matter how much you swallow, you're like, I'm trying to gulp it down. It's like, it feels like it's stuck and I can taste it. It's awful. This is great about Healthy Cell. All of their things come in microgel form. So it's super absorbable, 165% better absorbed, right? You get all of the supplements, the nutraceuticals and the adaptogens and other things that you need into your system, lickety split. It's beautiful. And this one is kind of like, I say, it's like a bubble of protection during cold and flu season. I'll tell you what it says on it. It says, take directly. Oh, no, that's not it.
It says, put your glasses on.
It does say that. It says, why do you keep doing this, you fool? Immunity activating vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, including vitamin C's, D, zinc, and echinacea for powerful immune support. If you tend to be sickly in the wintertime, healthycell.com/Wendy. If it's your first order, you're going to get 20% off. Healthycell.com. I do focus and recall. I tell you every day. Healthycell.com/Wendy. I don't know why anybody wouldn't love this company. And they send us great supply. Love them. How's everybody? Well, I said I wasn't going to nag, and so I'm not going to nag.
The fury of information that comes out on X. Don Bacon says that if President Trump orders an invasion of Greenland, some Republicans would support impeachment. Just go away. You're not even running again. Just go away. Shut the...
Yeah. That too. 100%. Oh, maybe I should move on to the next page. Oh, no. Here we are.
Are we going to read the pillars?
I am. Yes. These fine. Oh, I got my names wrong. I said Carlos and Luis or something like that.
Gentlemen.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Let's find out who these fine human beings were who decided to attack an ICE agent with a freaking shovel. In what world? DHS releases the names and backgrounds of the 3 illegal aliens they say attacked an ICE agent in Minneapolis last night, leading to a shooting. All are Venezuelan illegal aliens who were caught and released at the border by the Biden administration. Let's go. Julio Cesar Sosa Celis, a criminal illegal alien from Venezuela, previously convicted for driving without a license and arrested for 2 counts of giving a false name to a peace officer, was the subject of a targeted enforcement operation. He's the guy they wanted. He was released by Minnesota authorities before ICE could even lodge a detainer. Sosa Celis illegally entered the United States in August 2022 under the Biden administration. Now for the goons who decided to pile on. Alfredo Alejandro Ashorna, an illegal alien from Venezuela, illegally entered the United States in May 2023 under the Biden administration. After he failed to show up for his immigration hearing, he was issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge. Goodbye, Gabriel Alejandro Hernandez Ledesma, a criminal illegal from Venezuela who legally entered the United States in May 2023 under the Biden administration. The Biden administration marked this illegal alien as a non-enforcement priority, which is code for he doesn't strike us as a killer, but he is able to vote in our election. So let's make sure he stays around. Ew. All right, I want you to wrap your mind around this. All right. This video, you're going to hear it, of a woman, we call them kamikaze Karens. She's outside an active police scene. Now, I don't know if this is a police scene with DHS. I don't know if this is FBI. I don't know who these people are, but it looks like DHS. And she's intent on getting out of her car and filming it with her cell phone. I have rights, you know. I can stand over here and I can film this. What are you doing? These guys have long guns. They have body armor. They have tactical gear. They are locked and loaded. And she wants to come out and wag her finger at them. You guys ready? Because there's a little bit of an unexpected surprise.
I'm far enough away. I'm not influencing anything.
Do you live on this street?
I don't. No.
Okay, I need you to get in your.
No, I won't.
Ma'am, I need you to leave.
It's my right to be here.
You need to
back up out of the
I
way.
will not.
One of our cars as well. You were too close right now. You were interfering.
I'm right here.
Federal
You're
investigation.
going to get out of my face.
You need
I'm
to
a
back
public
up over
citizen.
here.
No, I won't. Tell me
You need
why
to
I'm
back up
far
this
enough
way.
away from your
You need to
investigation.
back up this way.
Step beyond our cars.
Ma'am,
Don't touch me, please.
Have somebody
Beyond our
go.
cars.
Where's your cars?
Right here.
Where's your
Go all
cars?
the way
Oh,
this
that's great.
Keep going.
That's great. Sure. Beyond your cars? 20 feet, right?
See that white car?
I have a 6-year-old right here. I have a 6-year-old right here in my car.
Child in the car?
Oh,
Yeah,
child
I sure
endangerment.
did. Yes,
Yeah.
child endangerment.
Get your child off of the scene. This is an active police scene.
It's an
This is all on camera right now too. Right here.
Yes, I'm wonderful. I'm very glad
Get
for
your
it.
child out of here. You
I
are
can
an
be right
active
here.
police scene.
I'm happy right here.
Ma'am, listen to me. You have the right to videotape. Okay?
I do. Thank you,
Hang on,
sir.
Listen to me right now.
I'm going to listen.
But we have someone that's being detained right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have a.
Tell me where you need me to go
Hang on,
exactly.
I need you to stay. Do me a favor.
Yeah,
In the
I
front
will.
seat with no car seat. Okay. Do me a favor. You can videotape all you like, but you have to stay. You cannot come past that driveway.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Thank
Okay?
you.
Thank you. Stay at your car though. Okay.
Thank
You're
you.
more than welcome to videotape.
Thank you, sir.
But do me a favor. By state law, we're policemen too. That child is supposed to be in a booster seat. He's not of age.
Oh.
So make sure you put him in a booster
Great.
seat, because I'd hate to give you a ticket.
You can give me a ticket. I'd love it.
That is derangement. On what level? Which way? Where do you want to begin? She took her child to an active crime scene without knowing anything about it. She wants to get out and record it. That's a huge problem. What happens when bullets start to fly? What happens when one of them hits your kid in the car? Is that going to be ICE's fault? Or is that you being a lousy parent? And then when the police officer, ICE agent, whomever the fellow is from law enforcement, who's de-escalating the situation phenomenally because Kamikaze Karen's hands are shaking, she is so eager to do something. I don't know why. He's like, look, ma'am, you're more than welcome to record us. Stand over here, please. It's not safe. And your kid isn't in an appropriate car seat, booster seat. It's the law. I would hate to give you a ticket. Give me a ticket. I would love it. So she can go home and say, look, honey, who's probably a lesbian. Oh, look, Sheila. Look, I got a ticket. Lunatic. You're a lunatic. And her poor little old six-year-old kid in the car, right? Who's probably playing on her cell phone. In what world? Does that make sense to you? What has to happen in your mind for that to be an acceptable decision as a parent? Anyone? That's where we are. Psycho moms. It's the new women's lib. Hour 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. Up next, Tim Walz. Sounds like he wants to whip up kind of an insurrection. Huh. Listen, and you decide. Next. In what world? Come on, kids. Get in the car. Are we going to Dairy Queen? No, we're going to go to an active crime scene.
Makes
Why?
total sense.
Why? Because I need to get proof, because Tim Walz wants me to get video of my altercations with ICE. Because we're going to put together a January 6th style fallacy, a fantasy narrative of what really is going on. Say what? I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. What?
I scroll Twitter the whole show just to if something breaks, that she has it. But I just read something that I think you'll all find comical. A poll, Texas poll for Senate came out, and it says Jasmine Crockett will beat Ken Paxton. Really? She can't even win her own district, but she'll win a statewide? Who? Emerson poll? Who takes these polls? In what world is Jasmine Crockett going to win a Senate seat? And this Tim Walz coming up. These guys, him and Jacob Fry, they are the definition of why you need the Insurrection Act. Putting out pleas to people that be peaceful. Well, hey, idiot, we know what's going to happen. We watched it with George Floyd. We know you're not going to be peaceful. This is the same guy who had cops. He's so upset about ICE, but during COVID had cops with paintball guns, shooting people if they came out of their house. In what world did that seem like a good idea? You have to wonder. Not one of them playing with a full deck. Not one. I chuckled when you left because someone put out a poll saying Jasmine Crockett will win a Senate seat over Ken Paxton. But she can't even win her own district.
I love this. Amanda is a P1. She's a frequent flyer. She's sent me all sorts of beautiful things in the past, but this takes the cake. It's an official calendar. I used to be a people person, but then people ruin. Right? Is that the greatest? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. What a great, and by the way, a great note. Thank you so much. How about, and there's this. This from Tucson, Arizona. The Jensens. I will protect their first name because that's what we do. $100, Brock. Mr. Jensen. That was really nice. Thank you. Thank you. How cute. You're just so sweet. All right. And there's this from Sherry. Sherry figured out my favorite pens. They are the best, and I love you for that. Thank you. Then she gave me hair clips because she thinks that I would set off a metal detector. And Brock, she sent us $50. Really? Share. That was so nice. Thank you. Then, let's see.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. We both got 2 challenge coins.
Ooh.
Yes.
You holding out on me?
No. Hold on. Wendy and Brock, happy and blessed New Year to you and your families. 2 new coins for you both. Be safe and God's blessing to all. Thank you for all you do. This is from Kim. Kim, I love you. Thank you. These are Pennsylvania State Police coins.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that nice? The blue. I love it. Love it. And then this one, this is a holiday version, which is beautiful. Very pretty coins. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Brock, I'll give you yours. And you got a birthday card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So. Here, I've got a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go. So I did not make I got a couple different great recipes. One from a gentleman's grandmother from 1899. Like what? And it's this great, I printed it out and we're going to do it some other time. But the Wiener Schnitzel was great. So I made this red cabbage and it was really good. And it was a little too sweet. Like it called for 3 tablespoons of sugar. And I was like, it wasn't really what I was going for. I had onion, apple, and it was.
Think the apple would have enough sugar?
It was. You know what, Brock? I think touche. I think I would do it again, but I would not have. I wouldn't, and I wanted some other flavor. Like I wanted a sesame or something, like a sesame oil or
vinegar.
some kind of something like that. Exactly right. And it was sweet. And Ryan was like, it's pretty, but I was like, 2 thumbs down. So anyway. It was good. Wiener Schnitzel. It was so great. We could have pounded it thinner, I would say. So next time a little bit more. But it was one of these cutlets you can pound and it's like this big. It's a saucer. So good with lemon.
Wow.
The German in me came out.
The German. Wiener Schnitzel.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. I want to say to you, all of you who have hung with us on this show, just a week and a half ago, we moved time periods, 3 whole hours, and we started this new time slot here at noon Eastern time. And I know it's been very disruptive to a lot of people. You've hung with us and you've supported us and you've been here side beside us. And I want to say thank you. There are a lot of options out there for you to get information from. And that you come here every day to me. It's deeply moving. And I just want to say thank you. So thank you. Tim Walz is a freaking nutcase. Okay? He's dangerous, I think. That's the part that bothers me the most. This whole psychological option, this psy-op, if you will, it's all for the progressives, right? And it's to convince people who are woeful in their own lives, I think. They've gone wayward. They've drifted away from traditional family, right? These are the women who I'm not going to be owned by some man. Don't you dare open the door for me or even look at me. These militant, angry, oftentimes obese, white college educated chicks, they're so easily sucked into this vortex of psychological abuse almost. It's an operation. We're going to convince you that you're such a good person, that everything you do is based in that goodness, and that what you're fighting against, no matter how crazy, it's so important that even if you die, think about it. It's for the greater good. And people out there are like, yeah, I like that. No, you don't. You're being conned. You're being used. And this speech last night, this 5-minute, almost 6-minute soliloquy by Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, it shows you all of the cards. So let's get to it. In audio soundbite number 1, the governor of Minnesota, whose job is to quell the anger. It's not. It's to gin it up. It's to fire it up. It's to get people going. It's to get the ants fighting with each other, right? He's like, what ICE is doing right now is a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota. It's putting people over. They're pulling people over just indiscriminately, shaking people down. This is awful. Well, it's not true, but this is the beginning of what he says.
ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government.
Do you know how dangerous that is? That is so dangerous. It's brutality. You know what, Tim? If you get pulled over and you're not an illegal alien and you haven't broken any laws and you're not wanted and you haven't defied deportation orders for decades, I don't think you have anything to worry about. If you let ICE do their jobs, they move through, clean up the people they need to find and remove, and move on. Clearly, it's not what you want. Audio soundbite number 2 says Renee Good was killed because of that brutality. This administration, this president, dictators and kings. Except, of course, this is all bogus as well.
Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family.
He's already convicted the agent. He didn't even need to see anything. He already jumped to that conclusion as the governor of this state. How dangerous. By the way, Jonathan Ross, the agent, suffered internal injuries and had to go to the hospital. Governor Walz, we all saw that too, yes. And by the way, Renee Good's former father-in-law, he even came out and said she shouldn't have been there. She'd be alive today, Tim. You'd still be governor coming up if you didn't make a lot of bad decisions too, sir. You seem to know a thing or two about that. Audio soundbite number 3. And now he says the president is threatening retribution. He's going to direct a quote to Donald Trump, which I searched for, ladies and gentlemen, and could not find. So now Tim Walz is going to lie to you about direct quotes that he attributed to the president of the United States that never were said.
But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state who dared to vote against him 3 times and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace.
Wow, profound grace, trying to run over a cop. How graceful. Right? How about her lesbian wife? Oh, yeah? All right, why don't you go get some lunch, big boy? Right? Drive, baby, drive. What grace? Oh, my gosh, their grace. It is so ridiculous. And yet, these messages somehow permeate these creases in their brains. And these women are now empowered to feel like they need to go be the next Renee Good. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to put my kid in the car. I'm going to show you. Oh, yeah. It's nuts. Audio soundbite number 4. Tim Walz says Donald Trump wants violence. That's what he wants. They want chaos in the street. We shouldn't give it to them. Well, then why don't you tell all of the idiots who are listening to you? Go home. Go give your kid a bath, right? Go make dinner. Or is that too domestic for this new women's lib crowd?
Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry, I'm angry. Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful. Second, you are not powerless, you are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger.
Can you imagine if Tim Walz was this passionate about stopping the Somalian fraud in his state? Can you imagine if he was even remotely interested in listening to the whistleblowers who he then retaliated against? Who were like, dude, why are these Somalian dudes always in pairs? Wheeling through airport security here at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport a couple times a week. $5 to $6 million cash. Why are they doing that, Governor Walz? See, he wasn't interested in that. But he's interested in you getting your training. Go get your whistle. Go get your training. And whatever you do, make sure you record everything. This is where things start to get super creepy. Listen.
Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
This is their new January 6th, you guys. Never let a crisis go to waste. Even if you have to create it. Even if you have to import the people to steal elections who also then abuse the American people and fleece them of their savings. And now we're going to create the fake news narrative that it's Donald Trump's fault. And finally, my friends, he's proud of how hard Minnesotans have fought back against the incredible chaos. Listen.
And that brings me to the 4th thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota. How incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment. But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, and Minnesotans believe in the dignity of all people. We're a place where there's room for everybody, no matter who you are, or who you love, or where you came from.
Always wrapped in do-goodery, right? It's always wrapped in a candy coating that you're supposed to be like, that. I mean, I know it's a pile of poo, but it's wrapped in this beautiful, sweet candy coating. Are you disgusted? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, surprise, surprise, I guess some people really are above the law after all. Oh, yeah. Hey, Bill and Hill, how you doing? Next. Right? You've risen to this occasion to fight back. You need like some kind of fife and drum behind him and like a wind machine. And maybe he could stand with the sun at his back and wings coming out. Yes, you've taken it. And I love you, Minnesota. Now record everything so we can twist it and present it as facts at our next January 6th thing, which will really be about Trump. So if they take back the House, they're going to try to impeach him again. You want civil war? All right, let me talk to you about the Simkovich Concussion Institute. The Simkovich Concussion Institute. Let me find you a testimonial. How about this? After having had multiple concussions through childhood, I finally experienced relief of headache, anxiety, followed following Dr. Simkovich's treatment. For those of you who are just seeking lasting healing and relief, please go for a visit. Dr. Simkovich and his staff are wonderful. They really helped me recover when no other doctor could. And they helped I have the hiccups, so many others. Dr. Simkovich's treatments changed my life. Post-concussion symptoms, anxiety, and depression are gone. I feel like myself again. The staff is welcoming and friendly. I wish I'd found him sooner. And this one, I had a severe concussion, TBI, 10 years before visiting Dr. Simkovich. I could feel the improvements after the first visit. I had attributed my concussion, balance, and concentration issues to old age. Both improved dramatically, and my wife told me I got my personality back. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. Jot it down. Write it down. Please write it down. 412-366-3700. Because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, who is that guy? Who is that guy? And then you're not going to be able to remember. But because you wrote it down somewhere and you're like, I know who it is. It's Dr. Charles Simkovich. You'll remember. Yes. I hear you guys' statements here. Yes. You heard all of the same.
Gaslighting.
There's more than that. It's a strategy. And you always have to wrap it in something it's good. It's kind. It's compassion and loving and healing and freeing. It's all about equality and all of that. Oh my God, I want more. Right? And then you're like, you realize that he's asking you to go get yourself in the way. And then as somebody's, shooting at you, record it. And make sure you repost them. So we can't win. We can't win. We know we're against the law, right? So we're going to create an optical illusion of our side of it. All you have to do is look at the people who ICE has arrested. And we're going to actually spend some time doing that today. I think it's important. Look at 7,000. Are we being boosted by our friends at Rumble? See, if you're new, you're looking and you're like, who is this fantastic curly-haired goddess? Right? No, maybe not. 2.49. Look at that. Almost 2.5 rumbles. And I didn't
All right,
even
we're going
say
to do
a
a
thing.
1 or 2.
Oh.
For the Brock mug, 1, if you
God.
wanted to say North is still North. 2, if you want to say it, I wasn't invited.
Remember.
I'm waiting for Wendy's vote.
There is nothing cooler, than this.
That is pretty cool.
There is nothing cooler than a Wendy Bell Radio AR-15 magazine, which presents itself on our website under 2A commemorative gift with North is Still North by Clarence Thomas. It's worth hitting rewind, going to the podcast, shuttling backward on your Rumble feed, because it's important to hear the propaganda, the gaslighting, the full BS that Tim Walz is trying to put out there for the people of Minnesota to continue the civil war going on. And this isn't black and white. This isn't rich and poor. This isn't left versus right. This is a manufactured emergency because the Democrat Party does not want to give up all of the people it imported to vote Democrat. Every single time an ICE agent goes out on the street, pulls over a vehicle, knowing who's inside that vehicle, to detain that person and to have that person deported, that is a vote to the Democratic Party that they're not getting. Ladies and gentlemen, they worked way too hard to jack up this country over the last 4 or 5 years, right? To have it all go to pot right now. And so Tim Walz needs all these women come out, fight, right? It's crazy. I want you to hear this. The Clintons, of course, I know we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on Tuesday when Bill was supposed to show. And he and Hillary were like, look, we just don't think we have any information about Jeffrey Epstein that's going to help in your investigation. Well, it's funny because all of the documents that the wackos on the left and Thomas Massey, who's a wacko on the left, forced everybody to see, get the Epstein information out, get it out, to the point where Trump was like, dude, just get it out. I'll sign it. Yes, let's go. Drop it. You guys aren't going to be happy, but drop it. And now all of a sudden, all these pictures with Bill Clinton, shocker, have come out, and they're like, yeah, about that. Yeah, Bill and Hill didn't think they wanted to show up. Tim Burchett, head of the Doge Committee, he's like, you know what? It's so interesting how this no one is above the law thing doesn't seem to work here. Listen.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett just left they subpoenaed Bill and Hillary Clinton on the Epstein situation. Of course, they no-showed. My buddy Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro didn't show up, and they got sent to prison. That's a double standard. And I'll tell you, the bigger double standard is when I mentioned that in the press conference. I wish we'd had it on film, but the press just put their cameras down immediately when I said that. I looked across the front row, 3 or 4 of them, right like that. It's these cards are very much stacked against us and justice. And the Clintons, of course, they thumb their nose at justice because they're allowed to. They've been allowed to since they were in Arkansas, and they're going to continue to do it. And it's really a shame that that's the pinnacle of success for the Democrat Party, really, is that bunch. But that's what we're dealing with. And, of course, they had a paid agitator out there yelling at us during this thing and during the press conference, and just pathetic, really. But that's where the left is right now. Thank y'all for sending me here.
So he's always very measured. He doesn't seem to get his undies in a bunch. This young lady, she's a little bit more fired up. Let's go.
Oh, this one's got me fired up. This one's for every single one of you politicians that's up there in Washington, D.C. right now that has a microphone and a mouthful of nobody's above the law. Right now's the moment to put your money where your mouth is. Because Bill and Hillary Clinton were lawfully subpoenaed to show up in court today and tomorrow and testify, and they are outright refusing. And don't you dare sit here and try to insult our intelligence, pretending it's complicated. Because let me tell y'all this, their sweet cheeks. If a regular American was to ignore a subpoena, the system would be all over them like white on rice. They would be so far up them cheeks. Court orders are not suggestions. Subpoenas are not optional. And just because you have former in your title does not give you immunity. So if the Clintons are in contempt, you better apply it fully, equally, and without delay. Either the law applies to everyone, or you admit out loud that power does buy people protection. We, the American people, we're waiting, and we are watching.
I think that's the message, right? It's almost like Trump doesn't want all of this crazy to stop because you need to see. You needed to go through COVID to see pharma, to see the influence and the tentacles of the money from pharma and how they hypnotize politicians and how many people would trade your life and your wellness for their own survival. You had to be able to listen to Fauci lie under oath. How many times? You needed to see the depths of their depravity and the degree of their grifts. Minnesota is the tip of the iceberg, we've said multiple times. It's almost like this is a slideshow and you're just getting hunkered down, comfortable with it. You're in the main performance. We got a ways to go yet. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the Somali fraud is so well known, it's literally just accepted. Nick Shirley drops another interview, this with a TSA guy or a former airport narcotics police officer from Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport. He saw all the money. Everybody saw the money leaving for Somalia. Next. I love how she does it. And she's all in your face and hollering at it. But it's like, yeah, I appreciate that. You're right. I feel the same way you do. People suck. Yes. All right.
A lot of number 2s.
Oh, they wanted which one? I wasn't invited.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the only option. Right? It's the only option. All right. So I have changed my protocol. I've told you what, I'm 55, started menopause when I was 50, I guess. It's been pretty easy, but you put on weight, you put on extra weight, and you're like, where'd that come from? I didn't all of a sudden start eating chocolate and ice cream and all this other stuff, but I did put on like 5 to 7 pounds. And I'm like, I don't really need zhuzh. Can we get rid of the zhuzh? What happened here? Well, no matter what I would do, what I would eat, I would literally, I got sick for a weekend and was down for the count all weekend long. And only then was I able to get back to my fighting weight, which lasts for like 7 minutes. And then you eat something, right? So I've been drinking this twice a day. And I've dropped 2 pounds in the last week and a half. Now, 2 pounds isn't a whole lot. You're not breaking the bank on that. You're not like, wow, that's remarkable. But I'm doing nothing else. I'm drinking Dr. Gundry's MCT Wellness. It's thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Okay. So what is it? It's a dietary supplement. Yes, it is a dietary supplement that a cardiothoracic surgeon named Dr. Stephen Gundry, who's a pediatric heart transplant specialist, created because he discovered the little thing that happens to your body as you're trying to lose weight. Your body's like, we don't want you to do that. We're going to hold on to this as long as possible. And so literally like a squirrel hiding nuts for the winter, your body's like holds calories. This, first of all, kills your appetite so you're not hungry for, I'm going to say 5 to 6 hours. But it also drops those calories and lets you purge them. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Dr. Gundry, 70 pounds with this. So I'm 2 in maybe 10 days. 5 to go. If I really wanted to get back to it. This is not really for people like me, though. It's really not supposed to be just if you want a few pounds. I would drink it because it's delicious. I would drink it anyway because it is delicious. All 3 are delicious. This is for somebody who really has significant weight to lose. All right. And you're going to use it as a meal supplement. You're not going to eat breakfast or you're not going to eat lunch. Or you're going to be like I am and I really don't eat breakfast or lunch. And then I eat a really good dinner with a lot of vegetables and lots of protein. And I call it a day. Well, there's beer in there. I got to get my grains. Anyway, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. All right, we got 7,000. It's so great. I don't know what happened, but you guys ticked up to 7,000. This is huge for us because we took about a 40% hit in our numbers when we moved from 9 to noon to noon to 3, which was expected because I figured a lot of you guys weren't going to be able to move over. Your schedules wouldn't allow it, but we're clawing our way back, right? I'd love for every day for us to hit, I don't know, I think 8,200 would be a great steady live audience. But look at you, 7,000. That's one thing I will say, everything that we've tried, every time we've taken pasta and thrown it against the wall to see if it will stick, you guys have been there to help it stick. And literally nothing we have done has failed because of you. And so when I thank you, it's not mumbo jumbo. You guys should ask Brock why you let me carry in the box of all of your goodies. Literally, there's snow on the ground. It's slippery. And I've got a box and I'm walking in. And he's like,
really? Is that how that went down?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Then he goes, do you need help with that? I'm like, no, I don't need help with that.
Do you want me to carry that?
No, I don't want you to carry that.
Well, then what do you want me to do?
Take it and carry it without
ladies,
yes.
wait a second.
Yes.
Ladies.
No, the double standard is obscene. It is obscene. I want you to, all of that. Yes, 100%. I want you to be able to be a mind reader and know when I can do it by myself because I want to be a badass. And then I want you to mind read and hyperspace over here where I really don't want to carry it by myself and I want you to do it. I want you to be able to know without asking me. Absolutely.
I have one wife. I don't need 2. Just say it. Yes, Brock, would you please carry this?
No, I will never. I will never. I will carry everything.
When's the last time you
always.
opened the door for yourself?
I will carry everything always. I never open my door for myself. You always open it. And what do I always say?
Hurry up. Well, if you're going to lie about the box, why can't I lie about the door?
What do I always say?
Do you say thank you?
Wow, this was complicated. See what happens when you're dealing with early mental illness? You have to nip it in the bud and make sure you know who's boss, right? Okay, coming up.
Lies.
Hold on. I got to get my lip liner addiction.
Oh,
going.
yeah. That'll move the needle.
It does. I know you guys are like, God, she looks so much better when she puts on lip liner. Okay, let's go. All right. This is the Nick Shirley stuff. This is like, pew. About with another Minnesota fraud story. And I didn't see it getting clipped and shared all over the place. And then I realized after I listened to it, it was only like 5 minutes, this one particular clip. It's Nick Shirley, citizen journalist, who blew up the whole Minnesota fraud thing because he dared to do what the media did not do, and that's go find out. He exposed this whole Somali community ripping us off and stealing welfare money and all of these grants and all this money of ours, right? So Nick Shirley goes to Minnesota. He's still there, and he was talking to somebody who is apparently from his storefront, supposed to be offering a transportation service. So, right, if you need to go to the doctor and you don't have a driver's license or what have you, well, there is this transportation service. It's funded by taxpayer money that's going to take you. Well, there's 1,200 of them in Minneapolis or in Minnesota. 1,200 of them. Right? 90% are run by Somalians, and they don't exist. There are not rides being given. There is no transportation happening. It is yet another spoke of the wheel of suck called Somalian grift. And so here's Nick Sorter talking to a guy, a Somalian, who is outside his storefront, and the guy is like, he can't explain why there's no transportation going on. Well, you say you offer transportation. Well, where is it? Where is it? You hate Muslims. You don't like dark people. You don't like Africa. You're a racist. I hate you. And then the Somalian starts dropping literal F-bombs every single word. F this, F that, you're an MF. Boop, 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 boop. Honestly, tells Nick Shirley to get out of his effing neighborhood. I'm like, dude, you're from Somalia. Get out of my country. I have no more F's to give, apparently. So I couldn't play that for you because it's really a lot of work for Brock to get all of the F's out of it. However, Nick did talk to, and he blurred the image of, and is not revealing who this guy is a former law enforcement agent who's worked in Minneapolis at the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport 30 odd years. 24 of those years he worked in narcotics, right? So if somebody's going through TSA, they've got their rollerboard, they put it through the conveyor belt, the person sitting there at TSA sees something and they're like, blah, 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 call the drug unit. This dude would be the one to respond. And what he saw was an awful lot of money going through on its way to Somalia. Wait, what? So we played for you the TSA agent who spoke to Liz Collin, independent journalist for Alpha News, who told the same story. This fellow was not a TSA agent. He was a narcotics guy who also got flagged and also saw the money, and details to Nick Shirley this laissez-faire, like no big deal, hands off. Yeah, it's just sort of what these guys do. Say what? So here you go, Nick. He says this fellow who's talking to him, former narcotics guy at the airport, he's like, look, I was the guy who was flagged when the Somali suitcases of cash were rolling through. And Nick Shirley asks him, how much cash do you think you actually saw? Listen.
From about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired, I would get emails from our dispatch saying like two male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names. They claimed the cash, that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints. We'd get all this information in an email, and I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this, then our dispatch would relay the info via email to us.
And how much was the money?
The money, the smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like $750,000. But generally, it was anywhere from $1 million to $6 million in a suitcase. And there usually was, as far as I can remember, there was always two individuals traveling. So you would have maybe one guy with 2.2 million and another guy with 3 million.
And this is Nick absolutely gobsmacked. He's like, wait a minute. How are they able to get through? You're not allowed as an American citizen to just shuttle through gobs of money. How did this happen?
And at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it. How are these guys able to take millions of dollars?
Because as far as I know, as long as they declared it, they were fine. So then TSA would contact HSI and Customs, and I'm sure they got the information. We got the information. My administration knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to higher state officials on this, but nothing was ever done the whole time I was there.
How is this unlike election fraud? This was like the 2020 election night, November 3rd, whatever it was, 2020. Like everybody knew what was going on. But it was like everybody knew, but nobody said anything, which is baffling to me. How do you have such vast criminality, such overt, in-your-face ridiculosity that everybody knows about, and then it just continues? It's sort of like do, whatever, ba-ba-ba-da. What? How is this possible? And then he says, well, how did you see this? In what circumstance were you called over? And he's like, look, I was narcotics. So if there was ever an issue involving drugs, this wasn't drug money, though. These people weren't involved in narcotics. The Somalis aren't dealing. They're doing something a little different.
We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
Couldn't do anything. We could see it happening. Dudes who don't belong in my country or every single week, multiple times a week, coming through. Maybe it's a new couple dudes, but it's all the dark-skinned guys from Somalia coming through. That sounds racist. No, not at all. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Well, it wasn't drug money, so I really wasn't supposed to do anything about it. You see something, say something. But if you say something and nothing happens, do you really see it anymore? Literally. That's how laissez-faire this became. Audio soundbite number 4. Did you guys ever sit back and be like, well, if they ain't selling drugs, how are they getting all this money?
How do you suspect these Somalians had millions of dollars to move in an airport?
We would rack our heads all the time, like, where are they getting this? Where in the world are they getting this money? And I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I thought at the time, okay, maybe they had 10 daycares, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all just racking our heads trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through these airports?
I saw one time, I saw an open suitcase with the cash because we were looking into seeing if it was narcotics related, which it was not.
How much money do you think moved through the airport in your time?
Millions, literally millions and millions. I mean, we're talking for a good 5-6 years, you're talking, I don't know, 5 to 6 million a week.
5 to 6 million a week over the course of 6 years. All right, so I did the math. That's $1.3 billion in cash that he witnessed in 6 years. But this has been going on since at least 2015, though. So add that up. 6 years, 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a clue in the world. The most overt. Everybody knows about it. Here's a suitcase full of cash going through security. It's no different than the video showing suitcases and boxes of ballots, pristine ballots. Ladies and gentlemen, at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, where Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman were really humping it all night long after they shut down the polling. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't count anymore. There's been an emergency. Go home. We're just going to duct tape some plastic sheets on the window. That seems normal, right? Zzz, 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 all night long. Ballots that were never folded. They are so audaciously, egregiously, obnoxiously in your face when they're boning you. Because they're so used to getting away with it. The guy saw this for 6 years. Oh my gosh. Finally, the last audio soundbite. So where were these Somalian men with the suitcases of $5 million, $6 million a week, if not twice a week for 6 years? Where were they flying?
This is the word I got, that they would fly to Atlanta, take a flight from Atlanta to Dubai, and then apparently what I had heard was it was too dangerous to go any further with it, so they'd wire the money to Somalia. Whether they scraped a whole bunch off the top and did that, I don't know.
Wow, so they take the money from Minnesota, take it to Atlanta, and then take it to Dubai, and then from Dubai they then wire the money.
Correct. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I was told by other investigators.
So all the taxpayers' dollars were getting funneled through the airports and then taken to Dubai to be sent to Somalia.
Yes.
And think about the criminal enterprise that would need to be behind this. You need to have judges who were well aware of what was going on and looked the other way. You'd have to have politicians, an attorney general in Keith Ellison, a governor, a mayor in Jacob Fry, who are all so warm and fuzzy and loving of the Somalian community, because that's what Minnesotans are. We're calm and loving and kind and compassionate. We'll do anything for anybody. Just keep being so graceful, said Tim Walz, as you go out and agitate ICE agents. And make sure you get video of them possibly shooting you, but make sure you tweet about it. Retweet, please. Is it all just beyond your wildest nightmare? And then Nick Shirley has to walk around with bodyguards. He had to hire security because the Somalian goon who MF'd him, get out of my MFing neighborhood, says a Somalian to an American. Say what? Denaturalize. If you are naturalized, denaturalize. Bounce, baby, and take your family with you. All of you. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. So Republicans, I'm just going to say they suck way more than Democrats do. They just do. See, because Democrats, they're lousy to you in your face, right? It's so obvious. Everybody's aware of it. Republicans pretend that they're on your side, but they're really in bed with the Democrats, which I think is even more disgusting. Proof of that, and a very pivotal vote, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Disinfect with Sniper, disinfectwithsniper.com. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Sniper is good for all sorts of stuff, but knockout, apparently, if you drive in a snowy climate and you have snow and you've got the salt that's all over the place and the mud, what do they call them? The floor mats in your car are all gross and disgusting. Brock says, hit them hard with knockout and then just wipe them clean.
That's what I do.
Now that's saving me time. I'm not going to drag them out and hose them off and blah, 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 blah. No, wipe them out. Okay, done. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Everything on that site we love. Free shipping. Sniper hospital grade antibacterial. Best thing you ever use in your life. You're going to start cleaning with it. And you're going to be like, I need to get more. Now I have a spray bottle on every floor of my house. Thank you very much. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Pretty special. Pretty special. All right, Texas Bullion Exchange. I have not seen what gold and silver are doing today, but I will tell you, I've never heard people talking so much about precious metals, investing, or at least being interested in following gold and silver. Because you get this idea, you're like, I'm not a 1%er. How the hell am I going to get gold and silver? Like, what? But if Brock can have a silver bar, you can have a silver bar. Anyway, Texas Bullion Exchange, 855-927-5557. This is the company I trust. We're going to put up their little thing here for you to see. Texas Bullion Exchange. But you can get there by going to wendylovesgold.com. And for more than anything else, if you call them at 855-927-5557, just ask for a little education. Where are the prices now? How hard is it to get gold and silver? Has the U.S. Mint officially stopped the sale of all silver? What can I still get? Why does this matter? And how can I get it without spending any money? Is there a way I can get this into my retirement savings? Yes. And they've got the PPP, right? This is your principal protection program so that you never sell it back at a loss ever. Ever. If you buy and you're ready to sell and then all of a sudden prices have dropped, if they drop, and it's never really happened, below the cost that you bought them, the metals, you won't lose money. That's crazy. That's confidence. That's wendylovesgold.com. Love them. Love them. I feel like I've got so much paperwork I'm doing here. Almost hour number 3, guys. This is one of those stories that kind of defies logic. But I got a list of Republicans I'm going to read to you to see if yours is on this list that voted against limiting the financial resources and the staffing of Judge Boasberg, who's been a douche to anything Trump wants to do. How has Boasberg ruled against Trump? Oh, how many hours do you have?
And by the way, if you are new to the show, Wendy and I are just joking. We are not being mean to each other.
No. Duh. That'd be a very strange working environment.
It would be tough.
Look at that, 2.76 rumbles. Good for you guys. If you haven't hit follow yet, click follow. We're trying to get to 100,000. In Republicans who vote against things that I think are common sense for us. If there's a radical leftist judge out there who's doing everything he or she can to stonewall, slow walk, or in any other way impede the progress of this administration, wouldn't you want to limit that judge's, let's say, resources? But we don't think that you should have 20 different law clerks. We don't believe that you should have a budget that is as high as it is, because everything this Judge Boasberg has been doing, you know this guy, he's been quite the thorn in the side of Donald Trump. He's issued multiple rulings against the Trump administration, primarily in immigration and in election-related cases from 2025 to 2026. Why would 46 Republicans in the House of Representatives vote alongside Democrats to derail a measure that would rein in wild activist leftist judges like James Boasberg, whose number one objective is to resist Donald Trump? I want to read you the story. You can decide, and then we're going to tell you who these people were. This is from the Gateway Pundit. 46 House Republicans sided with Democrats Wednesday night to defeat Representative Chip Roy's amendment to strip funding from activist federal judges in the rogue D.C. courts that have repeatedly undermined the will of the American people. You've got real judicial activism being exposed. We rise to offer 2 amendments today, Chip Roy said. One, offered as part of the fiscal 2026 appropriations package, would have cut 20% of the District of Columbia District Court and Circuit Court's budget and zeroed out the staff and the office budget for Judges James Boasberg and Deborah Boardman. Both of them are lunatics against President Trump. I want you to hear how Chip Roy set it up, why he says it's so important for us to defund these people who are using American taxpayers' dollars to basically slow down this administration's progress.
We created this court. We can dissolve this court. We can determine the funding for this court. The fact of the matter is, we have a situation right now where judges abuse their power, plain and simply. And the D.C. Circuit Court and the D.C. District Court is the locust of that abuse. In particular, they've harassed staff members because people raise the question about why you'd zero out staff. Well, I'll tell you, ask Dan Scavino, ask Mark Meadows, ask a number of the people that have been targeted and were harassed by these judges and January 6ers. We should make amends. We should not fund this court to continue its lawlessness.
Boasberg has become infamous among conservatives for authorizing sealed subpoenas and non-disclosure orders in politically charged investigations that targeted Republican officials, as Chip Roy just said, including special counsel Jack Smith's Arctic Frost page. Boardman drew outrage after giving a lenient sentence to the man who attempted to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh, right? Why are we funding their divisions to the degree that we are? So let's find out who are the people who voted against pulling back the fiscal reins on these people. These are your Republicans who voted for or voted to derail Chip Roy's effort. Mark Alford, Missouri, Don Bacon, Nebraska, Rob Bresnahan, Pennsylvania, Vern Buchanan, Florida. Ken Calvert, California, John Carter, Texas, Tom Cole, Oklahoma. Mario B. Diaz-Balart, Florida, Chuck Edwards, North Carolina. Jake Elzy, Texas, Brian Fitzpatrick of Suck, Pennsylvania. Mike Flood, Nebraska, Vince Fong, California, Andrew Garbarino, New York. Carlos Jimenez, Florida. I don't understand you, Carlos. Mike, what's your name? Herodopoulos, Florida. Jeff Hurd, Colorado. Daryl Eisen. I'll just give you basically their names because we're going to run out of time. Dusty Johnson, David Joyce, Thomas Keene Jr., Jen Kiggins, Kevin Kiley, Kimberlyn King Hines, Darren LaHood, Nick LaLota, Mike Lawler, Nicole Maliatakis, Celeste Malloy, Michael McCall, Tom McClintock, John Moulinar, Blake Moore, Dan Newhouse, Jay Obernolt, Mike Rogers, Hal Rogers, Maria Elvira Salazar, Austin Scott, Mike Simpson, Adrian Smith, Michael Turner, David Valadao, Bruce Westerman, Rob Whitman, and Steve Womack. Those are the 46 Republicans who said, you know what, Chip Roy? I know what these judges have done to us. I know how cruel and ridiculous they were with the January 6ers. But you know what? We think that peeling back some of the finances or peeling back some of their staffers, that's a bridge too far. Really? Are those Republicans who fight the way you want them to fight? Because I'm tired of the uniparty. I'm tired of everybody getting along, going along to get along. No. At some point, if you're a Republican, you're either in line with this president, you're in line with Make America Great Again, or you are not. And when you vote like this, you are not. And there's a hell of a lot of them for us to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. It's the enemy from within. Democrats at least tell you who they are. Republicans pretend and then stab you in the back. Hour 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program on deck. Right after this. Let's all remember who actually ICE is going after. Let's detail with some facts to counteract all of the hysteria ginned up at Tim Walz. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Super aggravating. I wanted you to hear that. I wanted you to know the 46 names. That's a lot of names. I'm with you. A lot of names. Some of those people, Mike Lawler. I wasn't expecting you, bro. Nicole Maliatakis. You consistently vote against the will of MAGA. Who are these people? Why would you vote against it? I don't know. I love that people are buying the AR-15 magazine. Let's see.
Are you looking it up?
What?
Oh, I thought you were looking something up.
How many people we were?
How many people bought?
We got a couple, which is great. All right. I love this. Hi, Wendy. My name is Lori. I live in Oregon. And because of you, I went and spent 11 weeks in Pittsburgh and went to the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh and did the treatment, intradisc neutrosis. I had hurt my back when I was in my early 20s. I'm now 70. And I had 3 bulging discs. Back when I first hurt my back, doctors said I needed surgery. And I said, no way. After my dad had it, it was terrible. I went through the procedure. I'm absolutely great. And then I went over to see Dr. Simkovich. I love it. Intradisc neutrosis. Imagine growing your discs in your back. Because you can. And Dr. Richard Rafferty at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh can help you do that, which I think is fantastic. And it is a non-surgical procedure. And as you heard from her, from Lori, from Oregon, it takes 10, 11 weeks. Not everybody can do it. But if you can do it, you can come into town. You can stay here for a couple months. I'll tell you what. Dr. Rafferty is going to fix you. You're going to have your disc grow back. Your pain's going to go away. 98% successful. That is this treatment. 412-906-9600. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. Love it.
The doctor I'm seeing is
Mm-hmm.
well aware of Doc Rafferty and said, you're just not there yet. But
thank God.
He's like, his stuff works. Like what he's doing is phenomenal. That's always nice to hear.
I think when you're in a team and you want people to be pain free, like you're happy to share other people's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I would be.
So I made it official.
It was the only option. I wasn't invited. It was the only thing for you to put on your mug, right? For it to be yours?
I mean, well, you know, like I live by the standard of North is still North. So
yes, you do. I got a great article to read you guys from the Washington Examiner. If you don't have them, that's a great source. There are very few like conservative places I go.
I'm a big fan of Town Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and sister town in Red State.
Red State. Like the Liberty Daily. I check that every day. You say the Washington Examiner?
And the Washington Times. You know, they're still good.
I checked the New York Post.
Gateway Pundit. Post Millennial.
Yeah.
No more F's to give, guys. 6,800 still here, guys. I love it. Thank you. Ooh, we're very close to 3,000. That's exciting.
We'll have it tomorrow, but apparently Trump put out his plan for health care. Stop giving the health insurance just straight up cash.
Wow, look at you guys. Here's Georgine, Maryland. She bought 2 Second Amendment commemorative gifts. How about that? How about Teresa from Palm Bay, Florida?
Nice.
Teresa, she bought a Second Amendment commemorative gift. Thank you. Oh, here's Rick from Montana.
Hell yeah, I love Montana.
He bought 4.
Wow.
4.
Love Montana. Bozeman.
4 of them. Alfred from Whitebird, Idaho. He got one too. Wow. That is really exciting, guys. Oh, wait, there's one more.
Wait, there's more.
It says, I don't know the first name, from Glen Campbell, Pennsylvania. Yep, you bought one too. I'm telling you what, that is just, thank you. Again, this is what we're talking about. I don't know how many we have left now, but this is our Second Amendment commemorative gift. This is the second of the series of 3. The first one involved the Second Amendment, says the Second Amendment on it, written out like this.
In script.
In script. And the first, and this one is Clarence Thomas's North is Still North. Have we decided what we're going to do for the third one?
The pledge.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Unless you want something different.
No, you do you.
Because it's always about Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
It's her world. We're just living in it.
Well, at least somebody.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I'm Wendy. It is great to be with you as always. You know, as we're watching from 30,000 feet. We're looking at what's going on in Minneapolis. We're watching so many. It's a lot of white chicks, you know, taking the bait and going out there elbow to elbow with Antifa and with whatever malignant arm of whatever group wants to go out and create havoc to protest ICE agents removing dangerous criminal illegal aliens from our communities, because all of that makes sense, right? Like at the very beginning of what none of that makes sense. If these people were protesting something legitimate, we'd be like, yeah, go ahead, protest for sure. But you're protesting the federal agents whose job is to find and arrest and deport people who put us in danger in this country. That, by the way, a majority of Americans voted for because it was one of 2 pillars of Donald Trump's agenda moving forward when he ran for the third term, right? Immigration, border, deportations, and everything having to do with the economy. We voted for that, right? Let's be honest about who these people are that ICE agents are arresting and what they're finding when they do that, okay? Because everybody in Minnesota who's a liberal or listens to Tim Walz wants you to believe that it's just rogue agents who hate women or are fighting, shooting moms in the face and are acting like terrorists. Blah, blah, blah. That's not what's going on, obviously. Headline, Washington Examiner. 7 in 10 ICE arrests under President Trump have criminal histories. 7 in 10. That completely destroys this rando rogue. They're running around roughshod, acting like warrior. No. ICE agents know who they're going for. They're going for them for a reason, and with no help from the Minneapolis or state authorities. None. going alone. It's forced to be like hand-to-hand combat in the street because you do not have people in the local government, in the state government, who will cooperate with the federal government to turn over people that they know are here illegally, who are dangerous. The large majority of illegal immigrants arrested by United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement are criminals who've been convicted or those with pending charges for criminal offenses, according to new data provided to the Washington Examiner. The Trump administration arrested 595,000 illegal immigrants between June 20th and December 11th last year. This is according to the Department of Homeland Security. ICE, which is the federal agency tasked with interior immigration enforcement and deportations, revealed that 70%, or about 416,000, have criminal convictions or pending criminal charges just in the United States. And when you add in their foreign countries, yeah, it's a lot more than that. ICE stipulated that even non-criminals whom its officers arrest may still be public safety concerns. The statistic doesn't account for those wanted for violent crimes in their home country or another country. Interpol notices human rights abuses, gang members, terrorists, etc., the ICE spokesperson said. The list goes on and on. These are 70% who are wanted for something they did or they are accused of doing in America. For example, ICE arrested Antonio Israel Lazo Quintanilla, whose only offense in the United States was driving without a license. However, he's wanted in El Salvador for aggravated homicide, extortion, possession of drugs, and other felonies. Guess who's going back to be at CCOT? Oh, yeah, that'd be Mr. Quintanilla. In another example, ICE arrested an Uzbekistan citizen, Akhor Bazarov, for operating a commercial vehicle. Bazarov had no criminal record in the United States, but he was wanted in his home country for his involvement with a terrorist organization. Does Renee Good, does she really want to go protest this? The arrest of these people? Really? Despite the Trump administration's prioritization of arresting the worst of the worst, Democrats and immigrant rights groups continue to criticize ICE for arresting illegal immigrants whose only known offense was illegally entering or residing in the country. Wait a minute. I thought no one was above the law. Whether it's Bill and Hillary Clinton or it's Carlos Jimenez Lopez from Guatemala. If you break the law, you break the law. Huh. So President Trump promised this. In fact, he even dropped these details on his inauguration day. He previewed in his inaugural address that he would, quote, begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. Trump and Vice President Vance have estimated that between 500,000 and 1 million criminal illegal immigrants are residing here in the United States. And in addition to them, the Trump administration also stated its desire to remove illegal immigrants who have already been ordered by a federal immigration judge to be deported, but whom ICE has not physically removed yet. See, the paper that says deported, it's not a suggestion. It's not a when you can get to it. It's not a thanks for calling my number. Leave a message, and when I have time, I'll get to you. It's you are ordered to be deported. Pack up your shizzle. It's time to Scooby. Well, not according to these people. At last count, roughly 1.5 million people had been ordered deported, but had just yet to be removed. Why? Well, it's pretty nice to be on food stamps here, right? It's pretty nice to have government-funded housing. It's pretty nice to have free health care. That's not going on. Please. White House border czar Tom Homan warned in a conversation with the Washington Examiner in December of 2024 of collateral arrests, or detaining people found in vehicles, workplaces, or homes whom officers were not out to arrest. It's going to happen. And it's really going to happen when an ICE agent chases a Venezuelan guy down the street and then gets into the physical, tackles the guy, and other illegal aliens come out from surrounding homes to then help punch the ICE agent and hit him with a shovel. These are not people who made a $601 Venmo transaction to Sears. Because that's what Joe Biden's IRS wanted to go after you for. This Trump administration is going after people it knows should not be here, are dangerous, and have been already told to leave. They didn't leave. And so they're helping them with that process. This does not seem complicated, does it? But still, in all of this that you and I see very clearly, right? Is there nuance? I'm sure. And I read you an article yesterday about two people that the ICE agents went up to and were questioning them. And the one guy's been here illegally for 20 years, but he has no record here in the United States, no record in his homeland. He's working and he's starting the process, or is somewhere through the process of becoming a citizen. Okay, well, that's a different situation than someone with a criminal record who was deported back in 2006, but just decided to hang out and linger here anyway and collect all of the benefits off of your back. Get out. John Fetterman's like the only guy on Capitol Hill with a D after his name who seems to know what the hell is going on and actually have some semblance of sense. Did you hear what he said? He said, round them all up. Round up all of the criminal migrants and get rid of them. Hello? Yes. Breitbart headline. Democrat Senator Fetterman urges ICE to, quote, round up all the criminal migrants. This shouldn't be something that divides us. This shouldn't be something that you're a man and I'm a woman and I'm more emotional than you, that I should, be upset about. No, this is something that we should all be on board with, right? John Fetterman urged U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials to round up all of the criminal illegal aliens during an interview with Fox on the Will Cain show. Fetterman spoke about the recent shooting in Minneapolis, Renee Good, blah, blah, blah. Round up all the criminals, he said. Deport them. They shouldn't have ever been here. And they definitely have to go. Yeah. Right? While Fetterman expressed that the incident is a tragedy, Renee Good, everybody says that. She knew better. He pointed out this is very clear to him when he arrived in the Senate in 2023 that the Biden administration was failing at our border. He also shared the latest statistics from the Washington Post regarding the criminal history of immigrants arrested by ICE. 67% of criminal charges, pending ones. That's more than 2/3, Fetterman continued, adding that two things can be true: is people can support deportations while rejecting the extreme. I don't disagree. I don't want to see ICE agents feeling the need to cover their faces, but when you've got protesters literally who are calling for the executions of citizen journalists and others, what world have you devolved into? When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, Senate Republicans, they wake up. Josh Hawley and Todd Young do. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. I totally forgot. I'm a Republican. I'm supposed to vote that way. President Trump now is able to use what force he says he needs in Venezuela. It's about time. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Ireland contracting. Like, today's not a great day to be out on the roof and doing work out there. But every now and again, a couple days a week, it can be cold and not treacherous and be able to do outdoor construction work. So if you live in southwestern Pennsylvania, roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, downspouts, new windows, that's a game changer. New windows. I put in new windows. Gosh, does that impact your home's heating bill? Wow. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. These are the people we trust. These are the people who treat your house like their house. It's nice. I think you're going to love them. Call Gary. Call Diane. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I literally just drifted off to the point where you and I were on Paul and Val's boat. And we were tootling up the Allegheny River with Gary and Diane Ireland, sitting in the sun, drinking beers and loving life. How many people that you do business with as clients would you enjoy drinking a beer with while driving up the Allegheny River on $1 million boat? I don't know. But we mooch like nobody's business. I'll tell you, I can find a way to invite myself anywhere. And can I bring a friend? His name is Brock.
Hey, wait, I was invited.
He doesn't get out much.
I was actually invited.
You were actually invited to that one.
Well.
What?
To that one.
Well, you feel as though you're somehow hurt when you're not invited to something. I wasn't invited. I'm not invited to most things.
I would rather not be invited.
Right? You have to be careful what you look for, what you ask for. Josh Hawley, wake up, dude. Like, I don't know. Are you not paying attention to what's going on? I think that if these people in Congress just listen to this program for a couple hours a week, I think they would vote much more appropriately. We trust President Trump. We don't trust you. I don't trust you. Look at your congressional approval. Republicans and Democrats, you suck. You suck. Donald Trump hasn't let me down yet. Right?
Just to give you a heads up, there's only 85 left.
Oh.
Of the Second Amendment.
Oh. Counting down. 85. 85 of these bad boys. Look, and you're going to be all butthurt too because you're going to want the complete set. And you're going to be like, damn it. I didn't make the first one. I know somebody, but I don't think we're going to do it. But you can get this. I just think this is so cool.
It'd be cooler if you backed it up. So there you go. We might have to make since our audience has grown.
So bad.
That if you came on late and you got the second and the third of the series.
And you didn't get the first.
And you didn't get the first.
And you want it. Maybe we could work with you. Maybe.
We'll have to talk to our manufacturer.
I changed my earrings today. Could you tell, Brock?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was the first thing I noticed.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jag. You know what? You're not a very friendly person.
I know.
6,350 watts and 3K. Welcome back, my friends, to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, we scratched our heads earlier in the week or late last week, when the Senate Republicans joined the Democrats to basically handcuff President Trump in his ability to decide militarily what he wants to do with Venezuela. They were so butthurt. You never came to us and told us what you were doing with Maduro. Oh, my gosh. You know who wasn't upset about that? The entire Venezuelan population. They were like, yes. Thank you, God. And now we have Iranians in the streets salivating. Can we have peace too? Can we break free from an Ayatollah dictator? Can we get our lives in line, right? And now finally we got the Senate Republicans saying, maybe we shouldn't have voted that way. You think, Josh Hawley, you dope? Senate Republicans flip votes to quash Venezuela war powers resolution. Washington Times headline doesn't mean a whole lot until you dig into the meat and potatoes. This is what it says. Senate Republicans on Thursday, so this must have been a bill. This must have been early this morning. Flipped just enough votes to kill Democrats' war powers resolution that sought to block President Trump from further military action against Venezuela without congressional approval. Hey, Congress, suck it. Okay? I trust this president. I trust Pete Hegseth. I trust Raisin Kane, General Kane. I trust the military. I do not trust you idiots by any stretch. Okay? This procedural vote to defeat the resolution was successful after Mr. Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio made personal appeals to the 5 GOP senators who voted with Democrats last week to advance it. 2 of them, Senators Josh Hawley of Missouri and Todd Young of Indiana, changed their positions, creating a 50-50 tie that Vice President J.D. Vance then broke in the administration's favor. Mr. Young said he switched his position after Mr. Rubio assured him that the president would seek authorization from Congress if he were to pursue, quote, major military operations in Venezuela. Mr. Rubio also committed to testify before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in the coming weeks to update lawmakers on the situation in Venezuela. So they trust Marco Rubio, their former colleague, who's now a phenomenal statesman, the lead statesman for these United States. And when he steps forward and says, we're not going to do anything without you knowing about it. We're not going to send in the military without you knowing about it. And I'll come and testify and allay your fears. But you need to be smart, and you got to give this president the leeway to make decisions without Congress gumming up the works. We use this moment to shine a bright light on Congress's shortcomings as it relates to war powers in recent history, Mr. Young said, noting that the debate will continue when Mr. Rubio testifies. Republicans Rand Paul of Kentucky, Susan Collins of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska maintained their support for the war powers resolution despite the administration's pressure campaign. Look, Maine and Alaska, stop sucking. You've got to do better. You've got to get rid of these toxic Republicans. Please, for the love of God. See, it's not the Democrats. It's the sleazy, slimy Republicans who pretend to be one thing and then stab you in the back and do the absolute opposite. I want you to hear this TikToker. He's in his car and he's talking about the state of America right now. And he's kind of wagging his finger. If you're MAGA and you voted for all this, I've got a message for you. Oh boy.
If you voted for Donald Trump, that means that you stand for everything that is going on in our country right now. That you stand for all these tariffs, that you stand for this mass deportation, that you stand for getting men out of women's sports. I mean, the list goes on and on. You actually stand for this. If you voted for Trump, you actually stand for this. And if you voted for Trump, I just want to say that I love you and thank you so much for saving this country. Have a blessed day.
I wanted the whole song and I wanted to see the dude rock out in his car. Brock sent it to me. He's like, wasn't expecting the ending. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is it? Yes, if you voted for this. Yes. See, if you voted for all of this stuff that is going on, Democrats will tell you that you voted for chaos. You voted for crazy. And the response is no. See, we voted for the chaos and the crazy to be exposed. And it's going to get a lot uglier. And you can throw stones all you want. And you can say, Donald Trump's fault. Everything's Donald Trump's fault. You know what? We created Donald Trump. So if you want to go after him, there's an army of about 80 million of us and growing. And if this president has the opportunity for his economic policies to actually be realized to their fullest potential, you know who's going to come back and who's going to stay under the tent for a while? Generation Z, the men. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my. This is what restoring and resisting now means, I should say. Judicial obstruction. How is it possible that President Trump not giving welfare food stamps to states that suck is reversed by a judge? Well, that's where we are, guys. Don't go anywhere. So we're going to expose this waste. We're going to expose the fraud and the abuse. We're going to stop the spigot, right? We're going to shut it off at the water main. Not just at the faucet. We're not even in your basement. We're at the street. We're shutting it off at the street. And a judge is like, yeah, no, you're not. No, I don't think so. I think you're going to keep sending money. I think the grift is going to continue until I say so. I'm sorry. Who are you again? Kelly Morgan, Morgane's Fitness. 90 Ignite. I'm going to go on her site right now, and I'm going to see. I'm going to walk you through it, all right? Morgane's Fitness. All right. So it shows up there are 4 locations for Morgane's Fitness. Richland, Jackson, Westmont, and Somerset. 2 in Somerset County, 2 in Cambria County, Pennsylvania. You're like, wait a minute, I don't live in Pennsylvania, so how's this going to help me? Well, you don't have to live nearby, thanks to the beautiful thing called Zoom or Skype or whatever the hell you use, FaceTime. Kelly is offering this 90 Ignite program. Do you guys hear that? You heard that, right? 90 Ignite program, no matter where you live, get in line, sign up for it. Kelly's got all these videos of herself working out. It's crazy. So it says Kelly Services, Ignite 90, metabolism testing, body composition. Hit Ignite 90, which is what I'm doing right now. And it says no gimmicks, no guesswork, just real results in 90 days. Tired of spinning your wheels at the gym? We have your answer. You pick the tier, follow the recipe, change your body and how you show up in it. And then she's got all of these success stories, the befores and afters. Oh my, holy smokes. I'm going to have to snag some of these before and after pictures.
What?
Jeez, I'm on her 90 Ignite program.
Oh.
Some of these chicks are chiseled. How about going from heavy to not so? That's a success. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. Maybe you just want to get back into a size 8 pair of pants, right? You're like, I'm not a 12. What the hell am I doing in a 12? I'm at least an 8. Get there. Morgainsfitness.com. MORGAINZ fitness.com. She's really done a good job with her website, too. Holy Moses.
Bad jokes. WBRBrock@gmail.com. Tomorrow is Friday. Good news. Wendy Bell Radio @gmail.com. Will be a pet show on Saturday, 10 a.m. Dr. Mike. We're doing Sunday.
Didn't I say that we had to do that because demanded it?
Yeah, she made a video. I didn't even show you the video.
Wait, she made a video of what?
To go along with the song. I told her she has entirely too much time on
So
her
that's what we're doing. We're going to play this. If for no other reason, we're going to play what Demanda has crafted. Because it's freaking mind-bending. She wrote a song, and I needed to find out about it. And I think what you do is you have you have a bunch of
AI voices.
Well,
singers.
no. Beyond that, you have a bunch of things that you plug in, things that I stand for, things that I've said, things that have happened, blah, blah, blah. And it creates, unless she wrote all of the verses, which it's like a 5-minute song. Can you show, really? You didn't send it to me.
I just got it this morning.
So is it like when you're saying there's a video, is it like cartoony?
No. It's like shots of you and me and like.
Do I look
the
fabulous?
channel.
That's all I care about.
Right.
Does my hair look good?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, really, at the end of the day,
she has
that's all
way too much
that's all that
time.
matters. Yeah, that's exactly what she has. She has way too much time.
She
I've
said
seen her
most
working.
of it I did. Kelly says you plug it in a Suno and it creates the music and voice.
Wow. Some of these.
We don't need AI though. We have Kelly.
What do you mean?
Because you can do all that kind of stuff now with AI. Because they just take voices and mash them together.
I should have my own emoji then, right?
Don't start, because then they're going to start, and I don't know how to do it, and I'm not going to go through and do it for an emoji.
We have our own bobbleheads, for heaven's sakes. You can't even freaking put together an emoji? Okay, whatever. You do you.
I'll do it when you do it.
When I do what?
Make an emoji.
I don't know how.
Oh, wow.
What?
I can make one. I don't know how to get it onto Rumble's thing. I've tried, and I don't know how to do it. It doesn't work because I made emojis and put them on there, and I think they really want you just to buy the ones they do, and just.
God, it kind of feels like somebody out there would be able to do that with us.
Well,
but
Demanda
who
is
knows?
saying it was difficult before. Now it's easy, so they changed it. All right, well then there you go, Demanda. You have that time on your hands.
She's had the time to
Get
get a
on it.
tat. She has a WBR tat, write a song, make a video. Like, what are you doing? Right? Wendy Bell radio program. I don't think I would have paid attention before COVID, perhaps, to these rogue judges. I don't know if I really was tapped in, because I'll tell you, I was always conservative, but I was a television news anchor and reporter for decades. And I was able to successfully quiet my conservatism to present the news in such a way that nobody would know. Right? And then I saw some things happen in the 2016 election, the 2012 election, Barack Obama in 2008, all of this stuff. And I started paying closer and closer attention in my own little newsroom. Started paying attention to people's behavior, started paying attention to what was going on in the community. And once you start paying attention, it's really hard to go back into the cave and return to your hibernation. COVID saw all sorts of wild, egregious overreach. We watched as small men turned into grand dictators who believed the magic wand of emergency orders gave them some sort of status. It's crazy when you watch somebody literally get drunk, sipping off of the chalice of power. It's bizarre. But I watched it in my state. I watched reasonable people lose their ever-loving minds and become panic-stricken weirdos. You'll have to stay in the garage and take this COVID test before you come in for Thanksgiving. What? What happened to you? And while it's mystifying on the residential level, as you walk around your neighborhood and see people walking outside in the sun, wearing surgical gloves and multiple masks, and you're like, yo, sorry, pal, but you've had way too much Kool-Aid. When you start to see the corruption and the suck at the judicial level, it's just scary. And that's what January 6th showed us. That you could take a group of people and judge them all based on them being in a particular zone at one time, because you're going to browbeat a narrative into a people that's not true. However, it's going to resonate as true with a very active, politically deranged group of people. These are your people who are protesting ICE right now. And they believe that. They believe January 6th is a violent insurrection. They believe that the people who went there to the Capitol that day, they wanted to overthrow the government. They wanted to hang Mike Pence. They were there for blood. And none of that was the case. It was the dumbest thing ever. And the Democrats had to spend tens of millions of our taxpayer dollars to put out a fraudulent High School Musical style production of their findings of a completely biased committee in which evidence was suppressed and deleted, right? What? I needed to keep all of the interviews? I didn't know that. It's as though they think you're not paying attention. If that didn't wake you up, if hearing Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, on this show, hearing him talk about being in isolation, in solitary for months, if hearing people like Stuart Rhodes describe the brutality of incarceration didn't wake you up, and if this Somalian fraud stuff that is just so egregiously offensive to every single one of us who gets up and goes to work, who puts in the time, who puts in the hours, to have a percentage of every paycheck you get be taken from you and from people who are Americans who need help, and to have it be shipped all over the world, and to be told there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I'm sorry. Wake up. So President Trump and his administration, they said, you know what? There are 5 sanctuary states that we're not going to give any more welfare money to. We've asked you repeatedly. We've come to you and said, hey, SNAP, these supplemental nutrition assistance program, it's for people who need help. It's not for people who don't ever want to get off the couch and go to work. And so in order to qualify for these benefits, you're going to have to prove to us that you're actually doing something to move away from it. It's like getting out of working at McDonald's and working minimum wage. It's not intended to be a lifelong career. It's intended to be a jumping off point. It's a lily pad. You're supposed to bounce to the next level. Bounce off of food stamps, right? And these states are unwilling to share the numbers of people, who these people are who are receiving benefits that you and I are paying for. It's not any different than being ripped off by the Somalians. It's a little bit actually more in your face. And these states say, no, we're not going to share this information with you. And furthermore, we're not going to share with you who's on our voter rolls because you don't need to know, which only means one thing. They've got people who shouldn't be there voting illegally. They've got people there who shouldn't be voting illegally who are also cashing in on the benevolence of your hard work and paycheck and getting food stamps and other benefits. And they don't want the federal government to know about it. So there's a judge, a rogue Biden judge, blocks Trump administration from withholding food stamp funds from Minnesota. There's nothing outrageous about suggesting that people who are down on their luck get a little bit of assistance to help nudge themselves out of it, right? And that the states should be able to prove who these people are. Give us their names. Give us their social security numbers, their addresses, and everything. We need to do some cross-referencing, see, because you haven't been keeping good books. And we weren't paying attention. But now we're paying attention. And now it's within the federal purview, as it always has been, for a president to say, yo, we're not going to give federal money to you. The states, if you refuse to cooperate and get in line with what we need you to do. This judge just said, suck it. I'm bigger than you are. You have to give money to these states. Does that make sense to you? U.S. District Judge Laura Provenzino, a Biden appointee, said the USDA must unfreeze the money allocated to Minnesota. 87% of the Somalians who are living there are getting these food stamps. They're getting these dollars as they're also ripping you blind. And this judge is like, well, it needs to continue. I said so. So it shall be done. No. I'm sorry. No. That story is going on one side. And then we have this continuing saga of these 6 prosecutors, right? 6 prosecutors from Minnesota can't stand working for this Department of Justice. They can't stand what's going on with this Trump administration. And so they've refused to cooperate. In fact, they've resigned from their positions. So then you've got a Deputy Attorney General in Harmeet Dillon for the Civil Rights Division. And she steps forward and she's like, well, no, that's really not at all what happened. They didn't resign because they hate us. They resigned because they've got early retirement coming up, or they looked at the books and they're like, you know what? I could leave now, and all of the overtime and extra stuff I've worked, I can get paid now through June if I put in this early retirement request, right? So Harmeet Dillon comes out and she's like, no. These prosecutors are resigning, not because of any kind of federal government not sharing the results of its Renee Good investigation with the corrupt Minnesota local officials. That's not it. They had early retirement coming, and so they put in for it. Stop conflating the facts. And then Pam Bondi, she comes out last night on Fox News, and she's like, actually, I fired them. I fired those prosecutors. I'm like, what's going on? Brock, are you with me in that this is all very confusing and nobody seems to know what the hell is going on?
This is, I know I harp on her. This is par for the course for Pam Bondi. This is the Epstein's releasing. I don't really care why they're gone. They're gone.
100%. See, we're simple people. I want you to shut off the water at the street, right? I don't need you to come into my house with a teaspoon when my basement is flooded and try to take out teaspoons of water, right? What we need to do is we need to shut it off at the source. That's not at the spigot. It's at the water main. Shut it off. This is what the Trump administration is trying to do. I don't care about all of the politics. I don't care about all the butthurt feelings, the reindeer games, the propaganda. We want the fraud to stop. We want our money to benefit our people. We want our money, which we are okay with providing if the recipients are those who they should be. As long as we're not funding terrorist groups. And while we're at it, talking about the Somalians funding al-Shabaab, going through with suitcases full of cash from Minneapolis, St. Paul International to what? Atlanta. And then fly from Atlanta to Dubai to then wire the money to Somalia to get it in the hands of al-Shabaab. If we're going to be upset about that, we should probably finally put an end to the $40 million a week we're giving to the Taliban. Don't you think? So Pam Bondi comes in. She hits Fox News. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. See, your words, blah, 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 don't matter to us, Pam. Because we haven't seen the results. We don't see the action. And I don't know, maybe we're just a little impatient, or maybe it's been about 20 years since we've seen any action. We want the fraud to stop. We want the money to stop flowing until the right people who should be getting it. And not one damn minute earlier. Got that, Judge? This is what we're up against. Judicial obstruction and activism. So the grift never ends. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Harry Enton, a former boyfriend, flapping his arms at the big screen with a huge poll that's beneficial about Trump. Oh, that's right. No, that's not what it is. I got the story for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. See, this is why Harry's fallen out of my favor. Everything I don't want to give it away, but everything he's talking about is irrelevant.
You know,
it's like they said, hurry, Harry, we've got 3 minutes to fill. What can you quickly slam together?
So I thought about the Pam thing after we talked this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
I needed you to be able to have a voice because you have been fussy.
Well, here's what it seems to me. Take it for what it's worth.
Oh, here we go.
She knows she hasn't gotten anything accomplished, and we haven't seen anything. This was her way to come out and say, I fired people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no credibility to MAGA. So if Harmeet Dillon says something, I tend to believe her.
Yeah.
You coming out saying, I fired them. Who cares?
Yeah.
We didn't know who they were before.
Yeah.
You fired 6 people, lady. If you fired them. I don't believe you. But 6?
This is all the ancillary schoolyard garbage.
Look at me
That
run the
doesn't-
Fox News because Hannity will me.
Wow.
I'm just done with her.
Yes, you
like
are.
if I never hear her talk and her delivery just grates on me. I did this. I fired them and I get it. I don't condone it, but I understand it. If you know, you know. I just done with her. Like, go away. You've done nothing. You've mucked up so much crap. You've screwed up more than you've accomplished. Stop going on TV. Just send Stephen Miller. I can at least edit him and get excited about what he says. I feel like he's doing something.
Yeah. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's right. That's why I have to imagine. Why wouldn't Trump? What would be the negative of invoking the Insurrection Act?
Good luck. I'll hold my breath. I can't think of anything.
That's what I'm saying. But legitimately, through the eyes of Donald Trump, President Trump, there's a reason he hasn't done it yet.
Oh, he's getting there. It's coming.
Are we waiting for the next bubble over? Because it's going to happen. By the way, in the notes of today's show, I mistakenly said that the Venezuelan guy that was involved in the ICE shooting died. He did not die. I was wrong. Did not die. Though, quite frankly, I wouldn't give a crap. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
I have no more F's to give.
Save us the money on a deportation.
No more F's to give.
I could go on for a half an hour of my disdain for Pam Bondi.
1,200 people on X. Hello. Thank you for being here.
And look at your tinfoil hat. Put it on and do a little dive and a little research between her and Susie Wiles. I think Trump is done with her. And I think Susie Wiles isn't. And his chief of staff, you're pretty powerful, you know. I think he relies on her a lot. And
well, you got Miller in the wings as the deputy.
Man, the amount of shit that would get done if he was. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Like
and you and I have talked.
flamethrower.
I want Eric Schmidt, but I'd take Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
Attorney General in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. The question is, could they get across the finish line? I bet you Schmidt could. Paxton, maybe not so
Miller
much.
would be a flamethrower through a marshmallow factory.
Conversation about polling, none of which I believe. You know, I'll share with you good polling, bad polling, positive polling, negative polling. I think it's all mumbo jumbo. I think everybody's biased, and I think it's very hard for anybody to walk the line in the middle and pretend that they're not. And there are a million different ways for polls and other things to be biased. It just is a fact. You can get the answer you want, depending on how you ask it, right? So Harry Enton is the CNN data guru guy. But I think some of the things that he shares with us are kind of dippy. This is one of those. He says that Trump has hit the nail on the head with one thing, and it's credit card. It's death by 1,000 credit card charges. And here's this like mystery for, you know, Harry Enton and John Berman. Why is everybody so interested in searching credit card, you know, interest rates? Trump came out and he's like, look, I think we should put all of these credit card interest rates to like 21, 24% right now, slash them for the entirety of 2026 down to 10%. Let people dig out from the ridiculous debt that they're under, pay it off or make plans in some regard, refinance it, roll it into your whatever you got to do. There are ways we can be creative instead of punitive. After 4 years of Joe Biden, we had 9% inflation, the worst in our lifetimes. No wonder there is a residual effect. It's not going to go away. President Trump talking about it. Harry Enton gloms onto it. This is being a very smart move for President Trump politically.
It is generating a ton of interest, John Berman. I mean, just take a look here. Google searches for credit card rate cap up 3,200% versus a year ago, up like a rocket. And every single poll that I have looked at, it's an extremely popular policy. And therefore, I'm not sure about the policy, but it is great at this point. Great politics.
Yeah, maybe the victory for him is merely talking about it, whether or not it goes through. Why? Why do you think there's so much interest in this?
Why do you think there's so much interest in this? He says. Oh, I don't know, John. Maybe because we suffered through 4 years of the worst inflation ever. Supply chain nightmares. Remember when we had to get it, like borrow baby formula from other countries because we didn't have it, right? We could talk about that, or we could just be honest and say, well, you know what? Everybody seems to be dying right now after 4 years of Joe Biden.
Why is there so much interest in this? Why do I say it's great politics? Well, take a look here. How Americans feel. Credit card debt is a stress in my life. Look at this. You get the majority of Americans. 55% say credit card debt is a stress in my life. More than that, where cost of living ranks on terms of the top issues in terms of what's affecting you and your family. It is number one in poll after poll after poll. So when you see this, you see a majority of Americans saying credit card debt is a stress in my life, and you see that ranking number one, cost of living in terms of the top issues. That is why there's so much interest in something that I think a lot of Americans think can address the very issue that they feel is numero uno, and that is the cost of living.
If all of us know that the cost of living is preeminent in all of our lives, why wouldn't CNN then, who's hosting Harry and John here, why wouldn't they have more reasonable coverage of the fraud that has absolutely strangled Minnesota? You've got Aaron Burnett on with the ex-father-in-law of Renee Good, the woman who was shot and killed by the ICE agent because Renee put herself in a terrible situation and knew better. And the father was like, look, she should not have been there. Harry, if you're going to be honest about the numbers and whatnot you share with us, how is it that you can jive that with your network that refuses to tell the truth about the fraud that is stealing from all of us? This is why I say he's a former boyfriend, Harry Enton. Come on, Harry. Audio soundbite number 3. It seems that credit card debt is the great unifier. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter where you live or how you vote. Everybody is absolutely getting clobbered by it.
So this is another reason why I think this is great politics is, oftentimes we see issues that divide Americans, liberals and Democrats on one side, conservatives and Republicans on the other. But take a look here. Percentage with credit card debt, 49% of Democrats, 48% of independents, and 51% of Republicans. It is a bipartisan problem in this country. So all of a sudden, Donald Trump is saying, hey, let me find an issue in which I can unite the different factions in this country behind something that I am trying to propose here. This is it, baby. This is an issue that unites Democrats, independents, and Republicans, because the percentage with the credit card debt amongst Republicans, independents, and Democrats is pretty much gosh darn equal.
It's almost like they haven't paid attention to us ever. It's almost like they never paid attention to the story that pops up every year. And it goes something like this. Yes or no? A $600 unexpected emergency expense comes into your horizon. Do you have the money to pay for it? The overarching numbers say no. And then the follow-up question. Do you live paycheck to paycheck? The overarching majority say yes. Come on, Harry. See, it's not just fighting credit card debt, sir. It's fighting for a system where the government stops robbing you blind, right? Simple as that. We'll see you tomorrow on the Wendy Bell radio program. Thanks for being a part of it. Peace.